Okay, John, we're live.
Hey.
Hey, indeed.
Maybe I should have done a hey yo, like Scott Hall. Hey yo. For back in the day in wrestling. NWO. Scott Hall, man, he would have Razor Ramon before he'd speak, he'd just grab the mic and hey yo.
Yeah, that would have been perfect. I liked when your buddy was on. I was like, what was it? Like, yo, what up, fam? Or something like that. I can't remember what it was, but it was like, he told me like right before the stream, oh, I hate it when people introduce themselves like that. And I'm just like, I did it immediately. Buddy. All right, so guys, we are live. We're talking about the Whisper Network being exposed by bleedingfool.com. I have our very special guest, Toy Bounty Hunters, with me. Origami will be on a little bit later, as per usual. And Steve is taking a break because he is still hungover from the bender last night.
Okay.
Oh yeah. He needs to rest up.
Poor man. That poor man has been through the ringer.
He has. Oh, you know what, guys? I forgot. Music.
There you go.
They've all been asking for music, so we finally got it. Cyan, oh boy, Comicsgate stuff. Yeah, no, look, again, I think, John, you and I have talked about this before as far as Comicsgate go. I'm not a content creator for comic books, right, in terms of, like, creating that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. As much as I love it, as much as I love comic books, I'm just a fan. I'm just a reader. And the people I've talked to within Comicsgate, I mean, yeah, there are some people that I don't agree with, right? But for the most part, as a group, they've been some of the coolest people out there to me, right?
Yeah.
I love that. I love their art, right? I think that they are very innovative with their stories. I think that they really care about the projects that they're doing. And when you look at these specific pros, I'm not going to say that all of them, but like there's just this. I don't really care about the character. I don't really care about the story. I care more about me and telling my own thing. And it's like when you saw the fucking Gotham High shit, right? I was looking at that. I was grossly offended by it. I was like, okay, what the fuck is this shit? Like, this isn't even an Elseworld story. This is garbage. This is like you're trying to do a TV show pitch to fucking CW, right?
Yeah. Is that very out of place? I mean,
yeah. We talk about, like, with Comicsgate specifically, right? They have gone after Comicsgate in the most disgusting sort of way, right? Now, just to be very clear here, right? I'm not a white dude. I'm half white. I'm also half Palestinian. John, you're Puerto Rican.
Yep.
I said that with the right accent, right?
Yeah. You did good.
And my thing is, right, they constantly say the same shit over and over. Comicsgate goes specifically after females. Comicsgate goes specifically after minorities. Comicsgate goes specifically after female minorities with disabilities. It's just bullshit.
Well, why ignoring the fact that they have those kind of makers in Comicsgate? They have the same kind of people in there. So
yeah. I mean, Comicsgate has plenty of minority creators, big names within that movement, right? Mm-hmm. Comicsgate has gay creators, right? This is not like they try to treat Comicsgate like it's a group of fucking white dudes, right? Just a massive group of just white dudes, right? And it's all for white dudes, right? And I sit there and I get like, I'm just going like, fuck you. Because the people who are normally saying that shit, it's usually a white dude, right? It's usually a white lady. It's usually it's either a Karen or a male Karen. It's one or the other, right? Yep. And I go like, it pisses me off. It pisses me off because they will be outright nasty. And when there's a minority creator in Comicsgate that actually tries to say something, they go after them in the nastiest kind of ways, right? I've seen those anti-CG people sit there and call those minority creators in Comicsgate race traitors, right? Shit like that. I'm just like, you guys are nasty and disgusting in every fucking way, shape, and form. And you don't believe in what you say, right? It's all about you. And I just,
Well, they make it seem like they're, like they're just tokens, basically. That's all they are. It's that, oh no, they use you guys. That's what it is, and it's just like nobody can think for themselves.
Well, no, and what's really sad about that statement you just made, I remember there's this like image, right? The image is of all these fucking white ladies, right? And one black girl. I'm sitting there going like, yeah, I don't want to accuse you guys of anything, but I kind of feel like the reason why you accuse everyone else of tokenizing, like fucking, I think that's what you guys do, right? Like that's just what I see when I look at them, right? Because they try to prop minorities up on their shoulders, right? And they talk about minorities like they are inferior, right? Yeah. And sure, they're going to say like, oh, no, we support, because they can't do anything on their own. Yeah. You talk about minorities like they are inferior to you. So, like, I watched Tim Pool, and yeah, he says this one thing, I really agree with it. These people, they're white supremacists with very guilty consciences. They really believe themselves to be better than everybody else, and they really feel like they need to use their privilege to help the underclass. And the underclass is literally anybody with brown skin, black skin, basically anyone who isn't white. I just like, ugh. Like,
well, how's the saying goes? The soft bigotry of low expectations.
Yeah, exactly. And the dudes. Okay, so when we talk about Whisper Network, right? The Whisper Network, we're going to read the articles and everything, but just to give the rundown for people. The Whisper Network is this group primarily of these, to my understanding, it starts with these 5 individuals, these 5 female comic book creators. One, Gail Simone, you've already said, she's actually created stuff that she was attached to Birds of Prey. She's done some Deadpool stuff, but she's faded into irrelevancy, right?
Yeah, she hasn't been relevant in over probably like well over 10 years. She hasn't put out anything that 10 or 15, I would probably say, of any really note. You know what I mean? And even in her heyday, it's not like she was like this really truly groundbreaking creator. No, but she did stuff. She was all right,
And that's fine, right? Like that to me, that's fine, right? Putting out decent comic books is to me just as important as making this legendary series. Because at the end of the day, right, if everything's like over the top, right, it makes everything kind of feel like really bad underneath.
She's like no Louise Simonson or anything like that. No. But she's like I said, one thing you got to give her credit for is that she was able to make a mark in the industry, and people will know her work, and she does have stuff that will fondly be remembered and looked back on by her fans. You know what I mean? A lot of the other people, though, can't really say the same about these other people. I
mean, you already know where I'm going to go with that, because we're talking about earlier, fucking Mags, right? I say it again and again. That bitch has had more comics canceled than she's actually fucking put out into print, right? Her entire fucking career in comic books is either getting her own projects canceled or canceling other people, right? And it's like you said, right? She is someone who has consistently failed upwards. And when you look at this whole Whisper Network thing, it's kind of easy to see why, right? Because she attacks people that actually have talent. She attacks people that are actually in positions of authority. And if you don't want that group going after you, then they better get some goddamn work, because they deserve it. And they deserve it because if you don't give it to them, they'll take your fucking money away. They'll take your careers away, right? So we'll get into the article here in just a little bit. But one of the things that I think is important to mention about this whole thing, if it was just these women, that would be it, right? They wouldn't be able to actually get anywhere with these fucking targeted harassment campaigns, shit like that. They wouldn't be able to get away with it if they didn't have allies, right? If they didn't have allies in media willing to repeat verbatim smears and slanders by saying, this person accused this person of this. Don't need any evidence. Just make the accusation, and fucking comicbook.com is going to put it on their website front page within fucking an hour or less, right?
And
So,
this is to encourage that continued kind of behavior is not being critical at all about it. You know, I mean, that's what these bigger sites do now. They don't criticize it. They just kind of encourage it.
well, and I want to play this for people. It's from Ryan Long. It's only a few minutes long, but it's how I feel about fucking anyone that describes themselves as an ally in this context. Now, sure, there are, and I want to be very clear, there are legitimate people that really do feel strongly in support of these groups, right? But these individuals in comic books specifically, right? To me, they're nasty, right? They're just doing it for their own clout. They're just doing it for attention. They're just doing it because they want to be part of that inner circle, right? These are not good people in any way, shape, or form. So I'm gonna play the fucking video. Let me turn off the music for just a little bit, guys. And John, you tell me if you agree. And while I'm doing that, Pix Lexia, our good friend, very good friend of the channel. I'm going to add you on Nintendo Switch really quick here. I promised Pix that we would play a game of Pokemon while we talked about this stuff. And I am convinced that I can beat them and do the stream. So we'll see how well I do. But let me get this rolling here for everybody. Nope.
Having a hard time getting the sidebar under 500 words.
Maybe I can come over later and help you out with that.
Guys, we have less than 48 hours to decide what this cover story is going to be. You know, Ally Weekly is the first publication for allies by allies. Those allies are counting on us.
Hear, hear.
And even though I'm editor-in-chief, I've obviously taken up a little bit too much space.
Good for you.
Brave.
Ladies, I will allow you the floor, and I will remind you we are allies, so you're super safe.
You're safe. We're allies.
Okay, so as you know, it is prom season.
Oh, God, I love it.
Brilliant.
And so I found this story about a girl who was turned away from her prom because her dress was too provocative.
That's disgusting. Boils my blood.
Women should not be told what to wear.
Exactly. So I was thinking that
An
maybe...
article about why women should be able to dress like sluts at prom if they want to.
Dress, no dress, topless, breasts are a part of nature.
Yeah.
The best part.
I don't really think that was her point.
No. If this horophobic principal is running around covering breasts, well, then we as allies have a duty to stop it. Hashtag free the puppies.
Thank you. Someone said it.
Well, the school has a history of institutionalized sexism. So
Settled. Good idea. We're going to run the free the puppy story. And the front page, I want a huge picture of the girl's guns. Really let the patriarchy and the principal know that women are not going to be held down.
You guys are not even letting her speak. You.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry if we overstepped. Guys, let's do a privilege check. Check.
Check. Check.
Check.
We stand with. Ladies, I will give the court back to you. And remember, you are with allies, so you're very safe.
Okay, so when I was young, my dad died.
Typical.
I put together an emotional first-person story.
Horophobic principal.
Don't judge me.
Slut shaming piece. I love it.
Great.
Excuse me?
When Pops died, you went on a bit of a rampage, huh?
What? No, what exactly about my life story means slut shaming?
No, he's saying that they shouldn't slut shame you. You're not listening.
Exactly. I'm saying, if you're a really big slut, it's okay to kind of go around sleeping with everyone.
Friends, colleagues, coworkers.
Co-workers, black co-workers.
Women should be sleeping with 10 guys a week. You're right as a woman, and I'm not going to budge on that number. If you want to get plowed, there is no...
I have a boyfriend.
He does not own you.
Guys, can we just focus on the story?
You're right. I'm so sorry. We're allies. We need to stay focused.
Please.
When your dad died, how many men did you liberate your body with?
Who were the men? And could you please be descriptive for the readers?
This is about me overcoming my
Oh, these
struggle.
assholes didn't even make you climax, did they?
They didn't make you come!
Chauvinist bastards.
2 minutes of pumping and they're done. As an ally, I actually prefer just going down now. I could do it for hours.
Women should be coming 10 times a day minimum. That is your right.
Like you did. Oh, Lord.
Right here, right now.
I want to apologize on behalf of all men. When I got rid of my toxic masculinity, I got so good at making girls come.
No, that's how it works.
Me too.
What the fuck is wrong with you guys? Oh my God. You're not even listening to us. God, how about an article about creepy fake male feminists trying to perv on women?
Sweetheart, I don't think our readers would really relate to that.
Well, I think the women in this room would relate to that.
Absolutely.
Are you telling me that there's a fake male feminist in this room? Boys, let's find him and kill him! Where is he? Where is he? This is what bullshit! Where is he? No fake male feminist in my guys!
They're not gonna sleep with you. But we deserve it. We're allies.
Okay, I had to do that.
That was good.
again, I want to be very clear because I don't want to paint everybody under the same brush, obviously. There are people who really do believe in those causes, right? There are people who really do believe in feminism, gay rights, helping out minority communities that really are in need of assistance, right? I'm not talking about every single minority. I'm talking about specific areas, right? Low-income areas, right? That, to me, it makes sense. At least you're being honest with yourself. But when it comes to comic books, that's all I see from these people, right? You remember that scene from Family Guy where the guy's like, "You're a phony. You're a big fat phony." Like,
yeah, that was a pretty good impression, actually.
I hear that voice in my head every single time I'm reading a tweet from one of these fucking comic pros, fucking talking about these people, right? Talking about any type of minority community. That is all I hear. Right?
Of course.
Just, obviously, it's just people that want to use other people to their own ends. Because these people don't care about fucking minorities. They don't. No. If a minority disagrees with them, they will go after them harder than they would any fucking one of these white dudes. Because,
I mean, look at the Jay Lee incident.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Which was recent. Asian guy.
Mm-hmm. And it's fucking Tom King. Privileged white dude writing for fucking Batman, right? I'm just and who's backing him up? All these little fucking white girls. I'm saying, like, you trying to cancel the fucking Asian guy by saying that Comicsgate hates minorities. Like, what are you doing? Like, you guys are idiots. Like, you guys are really fucking stupid. But they get to just say it. They get to just do it, and all their fucking fans just run out there going, yes, 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 yes. Yeah. Like,
rules for thee, but not for me. Basically,
I mean, it's disgusting. It's so fucking disgusting. The way these people fucking behave, the way that they act, the way they treat other people. And we got some comments from the chat. So chat, I apologize. I should have been highlighting you guys' stuff. Dynamite. Oh gosh, we do need to talk about Dynamite comics. We'll get into that one a little bit later. Dave Mark said, "Oh hey, it's a bounty hunter." Ravenous and Svez both said yo. Macy was cringing the entire time.
Hopefully not anymore.
Willie Annie, male apologists make me ew. Makes me ew too. Damn, I should get plowed 10 times a week. No, Cyan. I disavow that statement. Oh man. Hey, Kayla. Oh my gosh, what is this? Sadness. Utter fucking sadness and the death of humanity. So, let's get into the first article here. Pix, are you ready? Pix Lexi, let me know when you are ready to go. And we're going to pull this up right now.
You should change your name to the multitasking girl.
Right? Let me play the music too for everybody. Okay. So I'm going to put the link to
Lord, you might want to lower just a little.
Oh.
That's not too loud, yeah.
I had it a little bit too close to the mic.
There you go.
We're trying this for the first time, so learning curves. Kayla May, anti-CG, hire minorities. CG hires minorities. Anti-CG, cancel them.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how it goes. Because apparently they're not true minorities. Yeah, if they're a part of CG.
No, that's how they treat these. That's how they treat people. I'm blown away by how absolutely obvious it is. The way that they'll treat minority creators, the way that they talk about minority creators that disagree with them, it is so blatantly fucking obvious. And I I cannot fucking stand these people. I really can't. Anyways, guys, the link in the chat here, that is the video that we will be going over. Picks, you don't know how to start up a battle? I'm pretty sure I do. So I'll go ahead and start it up. Don't worry. Now, the article over here. Expose, the Whisper Network exists and tries to destroy male comic pros. Now, very loaded. Many of the women promoting the cancellation of men in comics, demanding they post the recent empty promise known as Comics Pledge, are in fact hypocrites. In this article, I'm going to present evidence of lies, collusion, rumor spreading, and in my opinion, defamation and contract interference. I personally know that they've colluded for years to take down men, specifically those with conservative politics and philosophies. This is an ongoing coordinated effort. How do I know this? Because I obtained access to their private Facebook group. And I have read through this article. They do have screenshots from the Facebook group, and it is very telling. Now, there's another article. I hadn't gone through the entire thing. I've been told what's in it, so we'll be reacting to that one live, so that should be fun. This is part one of the Apocalypse leaks. This is simply too much to put in one leak, so I'll make the following 3 points for now. The so-called comic book Whisper Network, which has been dismissed as conspiracy since 2016, is real, and I have hundreds of screenshots to prove it. The Whisper Network has been targeting men and trying to destroy their careers, and use their connection in the comic book media to do so. Number 3, Whisper Network members have acted unprofessionally and unethically at best. At worst, they have engaged in what I believe could be illegal behavior. I'll give credit to the person who actually wrote the article. They said, in their opinion, they believe. And I believe that I think that they're right. Now, certain points that they make in the article about tortious interference, hard claim to make, but I can see where they're coming from, right? You have any thoughts, Joe?
As far as you mean, which the whole article? I mean, is
just based on
kind of
just based on a brief introduction into things.
I mean, it kind of speaks for itself. I mean, I read the article and I saw that the person does show a lot of examples of what they're talking about. Again, I guess the only thing I would say is that for anybody that's been kind of following the stuff that's been happening, in the comic book industry, or Comicsgate more specifically within the last couple of years, you're probably not going to be surprised by a lot of the names that show up on here. I mean, they were kind of expected. Like, I wasn't surprised at all to see the names that kind of get brought up throughout the course of this, or some of the members that are part of this group. I mean, it's not surprising.
No. Definitely not. So, my story. I first heard about the Whisper Network back in mid-2016 from folks I knew at Image, DC, Marvel, and later Valiant. Depending on who I chatted with, sometimes the group was called the Women's Network, other times the Whisper Network, occasionally the Whisper Campaign, and eventually there were more conspiratorial names used mockingly. A friend called them a gender-swapped 4chan, which became FemChan to some insiders. That's a good one. That's a pretty fucking good one.
Yeah.
Regardless of the name, it was all the same group. The same 5 or 6 names kept popping up in conversation over and over again. As time ticked on, I noticed a trend on social media. Half a decade of rumors, false allegations, cancellation attempts, and they almost always trace back to these same 5 or 6 people. The goal of this Whisper Network, according to industry folks, was simple. Choose a target, smear them until they lose their reputation, their income, and are ultimately blacklisted, opening up job opportunities for the same people who started these smear campaigns in the first place. And now, that's what I was referencing there about Mags. Mags is a prominent person who is alleged to be a part of this Whisper Network, right? Mags is a talentless hack. Mags makes books that are clearly made to pitch to fucking TV networks. They get canceled all the time due to low sales, and she always winds up with a new book deal immediately. And it is insane. It is literally insane. But then you think about it, right? She gets somebody canceled, she takes her job. If that person doesn't get canceled, she doesn't get their job, she'll go after the person that didn't fire them. It's disgusting. Yellow Flash and that Umbrella guy have been covering it. Yes, they have. Loud minority of annoying Karens. Damn. Okay, so this is tweet here. Not the writer is a satirist who misfired. Just characters based on a trend like Dazzler, Hypno Hustler, Rocket Racer, Night Thrasher, X-Stasis, yet sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. You just think it's an SJW attack because you've invented enemies. This is from Drew Kalokai. Invented enemies. Don't tell me. Tell the Whisper Network that keeps anyone who remotely leans right from working. There's countless instances of these creators being totally disrespectful to customers. Sorry, SJWs exist, even though they're a social construct. Behind the scenes, these cancellations are painted as morally or politically motivated, but in the end, it's all financial. As time passed, the group in question seemed more and more like a reality. I saw their influence. I saw things I knew to be verifiably untrue go viral online. Appearing what I thought were legit news sources, I felt angry and helpless seeing innocent people getting attacked, but I did not know what to do. A few years passed, by 2018, almost everyone I interacted with in the industry seemed to know about the network, from top-level editors right down to the letterers. It was an open secret, but no one was willing to speak up for fear of being targeted themselves. They knew the consequences. So, what did we learn about 2018 comic industry this week? There's a Whisper Network, but it only exists to out and blacklist creators friendly to Comicsgate. Got a book on Alterna? You're gone. Got a book on Vertigo? And commit the bad touch? Let's not jump to conclusions. Now, John, I need your help here because to my understanding, I want to just make sure I have this right. There's one of these people in connected to these individuals openly admitted to forcing themselves on a man, right? Raping the person, right? And yeah.
Good. Yeah.
I don't want to say anything wrong here because.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to think of who you're referring to. Look, there was somebody that was an ally, right, to these people.
Yeah.
Which was Eric Esquivel, who wrote the Vertigo series called Border Town. Very racist series, by the way.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he was, I believe it was last year, it might have been the year before that. Me Too accusations came out against him. No surprise, right? Because the people that always say that they're the biggest allies usually end up being the biggest the biggest abusers, right? Mm-hmm. It's almost a given, especially when they're very vocal about the fact that they're supportive like that. What's interesting is that one of the people that was mentioned in here, okay, his name is going to come up in here, said that they knew that Eric Esquivel was like that, or they had heard things about it, but never did nothing. And it's just like, you're a person that says that you also, you obviously are the same kind of mindset as everyone else in your little, your little squad there. You know what I mean? You said that you had heard stuff about him, but you still worked with him. You know what I mean?
Let me address one thing in the chat here. Zoe Quinn is actually a member of this network. So
yes. Which is, when you think about it, well, we'll get to that. But Eric Esquivel was a person that, again, he got Me Too last year, and again, he was a guy that was an ally. He was an ally, and one of the people that's a part of this group worked with him. You know what I mean? Yeah. And claims, and after Esquivel had been exposed for his behavior, had said that they had heard stuff about Eric, but they never did anything. And it's just like, glad to see that you care.
Right.
Glad to see that you care so much. You had heard stuff about this guy. You had heard that he had been doing stuff like this, but yet it didn't stop you from working with him.
Zoe Quinn is the person who drove a gaming developer into suicide.
Yeah, that was Alex Hawaka, and that's the other thing too. You'd think that, especially what these people are plotting in this group, the last thing you would want to do, right? But then again, nobody ever said that Zoe Quinn, was smart. So I mean,
that's true.
You would think she'd want to distance herself from people like this who pretty much that their whole point is to try and get people canceled. I mean, she literally, we can't say that it was completely her fault, right? We have to, but one has to wonder what she did in regards to Alex Hawaka. Obviously, we can't dismiss that, right? It had to have been some kind of a factor in why the man finally decided to end it all.
Well, so just to give some context to that Zoe Quinn situation, Zoe Quinn accused that man of abusing her, of keeping her locked up in a room, of taking away her passport, taking away her fucking driver's license, not letting her leave. And the thing is, there were tweets from her from that same time talking about going out and shopping and how excited she was, multiple tweets, right? So she locks her entire account down once this guy, seppukus himself. And he does it after she accuses him of all this terrible fucking shit, right? Destroyed that man's life, and then he takes his life, right?
Yeah.
That was Zoe Quinn. Yep. Okay?
Yeah,
that was her canceling somebody.
Yeah.
And that dude just he took the way out that made the most sense to him. And it's disgusting because that didn't need to happen.
No, it did. It didn't. And that's the thing. And again, and just to be clear, saying on stream here, look, we 100%. Look, I'm not going to 100% say, you know what, it was all her fault. Obviously, the dude had issues, right?
Yeah.
The dude already had issues. So I'm not going to go as far as to say it was 100% what she did. The guy might have been experiencing something beforehand, and that's what just ended up pushing him over the edge. But again, we can't discount the possibility that what she did is what was the final nail for the guy, right? But that it's probably a factor. There's probably a factor, if not the biggest motivating factor, at least towards the end of his life, for him to finally commit, right, to going all the way.
Yeah.
So and that's unfortunate. But that's what happens with when people do stuff like this, and when they do it with impunity.
And I mean, unfortunately, just to address what I'm seeing in the chat here, could Zoe Quinn be charged for manslaughter? No. I mean, the people knew that guy was unstable, right? And she still went after him that way, right? Again, it's like you said, he obviously had issues, but you don't push somebody who has that type of instability. And with her, she just doesn't give a shit, right? It's just somebody to take out, right? It's just more cloud, it's just more attention for herself. And you just don't know how people are going to react when you go at them in that way, right? So, you can't say 100% she's responsible. That's why I would say that she should be charged for manslaughter, period. Her actions, I would say, are directly linked to what occurred there.
Yeah. There's no way to disassociate her actions, from what ultimately happened. There just isn't. I mean, it's just, one could look at that and say, oh, well, maybe it's there's no coincidence there. I mean, it's just, you got to see it for what it is.
Yeah.
And again, it's not to say, and nobody here is saying, 100% she was 100% the reason why, nobody knows, but you have to think that played probably a pretty significant role in why he finally decided to, again, go all the way and finally say, you know what, I'm done with this world.
Yeah. And so when it talks about over here, right, and this goes right into the Esquivel thing. So when Esquivel's victim came forward, right, she came forward about the abuse, right? They came forward. They put themselves out there. So this news site writes an article about it, immediately takes the article down, and says they're doing it to protect the victim. Esquivel is still out there abusing people. These same individuals, because Esquivel's an ally, just whatever, let him do it.
Well, Esquivel did finally get canceled. I mean, his whole thing with, I mean, he was out of Vertigo before. I mean, Vertigo was going down anyways. He would have never finished his series regardless. Nobody at Vertigo got to finish their series because Vertigo was a colossal failure. this last incarnation of Vertigo was a 100% colossal failure. So he wouldn't have gotten to finish his book regardless.
Mhm.
But that just kind of, expedited the process for him. Of him not being able to finish. And even still, I don't know what the guy is up to these days, but obviously he's definitely not a part of the industry anymore. Surprisingly, one of the few times where it's just like they managed to keep somebody out. That actually, it didn't even deny that he didn't really even deny that he did what he did. You know what I mean? Kind of copped to it. And the thing is, there was people that were criticizing him, and it's just like, well, the difference with Esquivel is that Esquivel, again, he didn't really deny that he had done these things. He kind of was like, yeah, it kind of is what it is. I think he kind of gave a lukewarm type of apology that he would hope would be accepted, but no, that's it. Gone. But he was one of those guys that was shouting from the rooftops about other people. But look at him. Look at what he was doing.
And it's like you said, the people who come out the hardest, right, tend to be the ones that have those issues, right?
Yep.
But what I'm talking about, he did eventually get canceled, but there was a concerted effort to shut down the story when it was happening. And that's the big difference.
The thing is, they didn't even tell. That's the funny thing. It's just nobody, Bleeding Cool didn't cover it. None of the bigger sites, comicbook.com, they didn't cover the story. They all stayed quiet about it. They just kind of quietly didn't acknowledge it. You know what I mean? Publicly at all. All these sites that had it been somebody else probably would have jumped right on it. But they I think the only time it was covered by Bleeding Cool was after the fact that I think it was after Esquivel had already been fired. I think was when they finally decided. I don't think they actually wrote about it, and I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure they didn't write about it as it was actively happening that I can recall. Or I could be wrong, but I think that the only time they covered it was after. Oh no! You know what? I am wrong. I think Bleeding Cool did cover it, but I think some of the other sites did not.
Yeah,
because I'm finding it now. So yeah, actually they did. They did actually.
Well, I'll put it like this, right? When the stuff about, again, just because we're part of the whole, I stand with Vic. I mean that whole thing, right? That stuff comes out find me the website. They didn't immediately jump all over it, right? Yeah. That Esquivel guy, though, you have a victim making direct accusation, time, place, everything, right? And to my understanding, Esquivel admitted it, admits to doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, no, that's not what our viewers want to see. So just delete it. That's the disgusting point to me. That's that double standard that just pops in with these people. Okay, so moving on. And after all, this was a secret network without proof. There was no point in going public because members would just deny its existence and use their media connections to smear anyone who challenged them. Then things got interesting. December 16, 2018, Whisper Network member Gail Simone, who joined the network 6 years ago, 4 years before the following tweet was posted, mocks doofuses who speculate that a Whisper campaign exists. Now, this is important to me, right? Because you're going to see something when we're reading through this. Yes, as part of our Whisper campaign, according to doofuses. Gail, you replied to my tweet 4 times this year. Does that make us best buds? Right? Now, here's another tweet where Gail makes a list of fake things the Whisper campaign is discussing in an attempt to laugh away the notion. Today's Whisper campaign topics: the good Ben Stiller movie, covering up bad smells at cons, comics, plague, glue, factor myth. So the first one's calling anyone who talks about it a doofus. The second tweet is mocking the very idea of the existence of it, right? So it gets better. At this point in late 2018, I was still skeptical of the Whisper Network's existence. I'd heard many stories of individuals spreading rumors and lies that plenty of malicious behavior was going on behind closed doors, though I wasn't ready to believe it was a coordinated effort or collusion was involved. Then certain people began openly mentioning the Whisper Network, and my attitude changed. So this is Heather Antos, March 26, 2019, right? Pro tip, industries are small, people talk, don't be a dick, right? this is what it hints at it, right? This is what people have been like. People were talking about the Whisper Network. That's the accusation they were making about it. And she comes out with that statement. So it's like, oh, Heather Milkshake Girl Antos. That's cute.
Well, you remember she was the one that with a bunch of other Marvel writers and artists, female Marvel artists and writers. They went on and they went in and got some milkshakes together. I think in remembrance of somebody, if I remember correctly. I can't remember the specifics on it. Then they took a picture of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's where that whole thing comes from.
Yeah,
the whole nickname.
Yeah, I thought it was cute the way that they said it, though. It is. All right, so a conversation about office rumor spreading and bullying is never complete without someone bringing up a juicy Antos anecdote. Everyone has one. Up until then, I still hadn't seen actual proof of a larger scheme, but then something changed in 2020. All right, so January 2020, Alex DeCampi, who I would discover is one of the most active Whisper Network members, openly admits there is a network. And he said, I have no idea what this slipper bracelet have to show off. He's been verboten on the Whisper Network for years. Time to stop whispering and start shouting. So, remember, we went from calling people doofuses for even believing in it, mocking the very notion of it, hinting at the very thing people are making accusations about it, to just outright stating that it exists. And it's all over the course of, 2 years, right? Because they got away with it for so long. Why hide it? Everybody already knows in the industry it's a thing. Why not just talk about it openly? And so this part over here, Stephanie Cook. Now, Stephanie Cook is going to appear in the second article because she did a bad thing. But
yes.
As you can see. Oh, sorry, guys. Hold on. I beat Pixlexia. Yay.
Oh, no, your screen is dark.
Oh, no. Just it exited the screen. Anyways.
There's nothing there, Crow. There's nothing there.
Pix, thank you for the battle. That was fun. They were using a whole Eevee team. Whisper networks are not enough. They only protect people in the know enough to talk to people with insider knowledge. We need to do better at driving shitty people out of the industry. So, 2 years ago, these lying... How do you say it? What's a good word? Right. These lying cunts 2 years ago denied the very existence, called anyone a fucking doofus for even bringing it up, mocked the very notion of it, then went on to hint that it exists, then just wanted to openly say, yeah, it exists, and we're not doing enough. Yeah. I go like, wow, over the span of 2 fucking years. And when you line the tweets up, it's pretty clear that they're fucking lying. That's the worst part. Picks. Listen, next time I'll have more of my competitive Pokemon up to 100, then I'll have more options. Okay, Picks. Next week we'll battle again. You'll have a chance to redeem yourself. So, I don't know, John. Like, to me, it's like you don't put a stop to it. You allow it to keep happening. The industry is just infected with these awful fucking people. And now you have these awful fucking women just go around destroying people. They do it secretly. They do it in private. And now they're just doing it openly and just saying, what the fuck ever. I don't give a shit anymore. Let's just tell everybody so they all know. Everybody gets to know. We'll go after them. I can't. I cannot with these people.
There's no need for them to hide anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They've already, like I said, you know, because of certain we'll say, you know, comics, you know, quote unquote journalists, you know what I mean, they feel emboldened to do stuff like this, you know what I mean? Because again, you know, if for whatever reason it gets covered by any of them, it's never going to be covered in a negative light. It's going to be covered in a way that, oh, they're doing something right. They're cleaning up the industry. Their cause is righteous. You know what I mean? It's going to be spun in a way that paints them in a favorable light, right? It's never going to be shown for what it actually is them colluding to ruin people's lives just because they don't like them, or because they've heard heard things about them that they can't actually prove, but it's enough for them to go ahead and plot something against them. You know what I mean? To ruin their careers. It's like, oh, I've heard stuff about this. Oh, I heard that too. Well, you know what? Let's get them out of here.
And that's the thing, right? Because they never have to worry about negative press, they can just do whatever the fuck they want.
Pretty much. But how does it say when the parents are away, the children will play? I mean, that's basically what's going on here. Nobody's going to hold them to. I mean, for sure, nobody, at least at any of these websites, are going to hold them to account for any of it. You know what I mean? And the thing is, the people that do step up and try to challenge it, of course, they're going to be shouted down, and not just by these people, right? Mm-hmm. It's going to be by their quote unquote allies as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you just know, right? That if one of these individuals legitimately came out, right, punch somebody in the face, right? Yeah, it's just a brazen example. They're out at a fucking convention. Fan comes up to them, says something. Hey, I heard about that Whisper Network. I don't like it. And they just stand up and they punch that person in the fucking face. Comicbook.com would immediately write an article. Heather Antos was attacked at this convention and defended herself from a violent. Like,
she'd be praised for it. She would be praised for it. You know what I mean? Yeah. It wouldn't matter the fact that she assaulted somebody for saying something that she didn't like. It would be, she was standing up for herself. You know what I mean? That's how it would be spun. She was standing up for righteous cause.
Yeah, and that's ain't nothing righteous about these fucking awful people, though. But they get to pretend. They get to fucking pretend LARP that they're fucking fighting for something, while at the same time doing it just for their own financial benefit. So, I was inside the Whisper Network. So, this is the Facebook group. It's a private group, 443 members. I believe that's the most recent count. But the thing is, you can't access it unless you are a member. And the only way you can become a member is if you're invited by somebody in the group, right? So it doesn't show up. It doesn't show up in any searches. You have to be invited by somebody in that group to get in there.
Just real quick, I'm being right back.
Oh yeah. So these are these people right here. So Gail Simone, right? Again, Gail Simone's created something. She has. Her comics aren't anything, groundbreaking in terms of what they were. But she made decent comic books, and that's good. I'm sure that there are plenty of fans of her work out there. She's made a name for herself, as John stated. But we're talking about someone who hasn't done anything of any relevance for 10 plus years, other than what she's doing now, which is destroying other people's careers. It's nasty and it's sick and it's disgusting. And who else here? Zoe Quinn. Right? Zoe Quinn, as we said earlier, that's the individual who went after someone who had clear mental instabilities, accused that person of being the worst kind of individual, right? Accused that person of locking her up, abusing her, all this shit. And her own fucking tweets showed that during the time that they were together, that just wasn't true, right? She wasn't locked up inside of a fucking room, couldn't leave. Because she was talking about how she was going to the store regularly and how excited she was to go do this and that and this and that. Just brazenly, openly fucking lied about this guy. And the dude just seppuku'd himself. And did Zoe Quinn ever apologize? No, just walked away from that fucking car wreck. Right? Whatever. Whatever. Doesn't give a shit. Doesn't give a shit. Right? These people destroy people's lives. This bitch is directly responsible to those events, right? Don't give a shit. Don't fucking care. Alex DeCampi, fucking useless. Mags, again, freelance writer at Marvel Entertainment. If you don't give this idiot a book, she will go after you fucking tooth and fucking nail with this other group of fucking idiots until she gets money to produce a book that nobody's going to fucking read. It's embarrassing that your entire career is either based on your own shit being canceled because nobody wants to fucking read it, No matter how many jobs you get, right? Nobody wants to read it. Your fucking TV show that you were so proud of gets canceled after one fucking season, a sci-fi show. Come on. Come on. I only say that because I used to watch Sci-Fi Network. They'll put anything on TV. And they'll give it like fucking 5 fucking seasons. Low budget, they don't give a shit. We're talking about the network that has like 5 Sharknado films. 5 fucking Sharknados, right? And Max can't get a second season on her fucking shit. Sorry. These are the individuals, right? That are destroying other people with talent and taking jobs from people that actually deserve them. Oh, there's actually 6. Holy shit. Fucking Christ. Sharknado is a masterpiece. My point being, right? It's not like Sci-Fi Network is sitting there wanting you to produce like fucking House, right? The greatest TV show of all time. You know what I mean, right? They're not looking for like the highest budget, most well-written things. They're looking for like popcorn entertainment, right? Nothing that needs to be super deep. And she can't even do that, right? It's just, how many fucking times do you need to run that fucking circle, right? And you got nothing to show for it. You can say, I've done this, and this. And a guy like me sitting on my ass can say, yeah, and that got canceled, 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 that got brought back and then canceled. That's your career, right? And yeah, you can keep getting work. That's perfectly fine. But you're an abject fucking failure. You're just an abject fucking failure. Sorry for insulting Sharknado. Stargate was their last decency, but they cancel like crazy. Yeah. But usually you'll get like 2 or 3 seasons out of something. It needs to be really bad to have a 1-season run. And that's where Max showed up to just fucking do it.
Right,
okay.
Oh, you're talking about
I was ripping on Mag's
the show. Yeah, the show based on the comic book Vagrant Queen, which its last issue was supposed to be a 6-issue comic book, I think, and I think it only lasted 4. And the last issue sold for only it only sold like 700 copies, but somehow they managed to get a TV show.
Yeah, because she's not writing books that people want to read. She's writing books that can be pitched to TV. Oh, comic book movies are the biggest thing, and comic book TV shows are so big. I make this show based off my piece of shit comic book that's really designed to be a TV show.
Well, think that's a person that they have an agent, you know what I mean? And which is not, that's very unusual for somebody who is a writer, right, in the industry. They don't usually have an agent. I mean, that's one of those situations where you want to talk about somebody not really getting things based on merit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's a good example.
Well, I mean, you look at these based on merit. Well, because you look at the comic book properties like Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, Justice League, Avengers, right? All these things, right? They were not produced to turn into TV shows or turn into movies. But they have just massive fan bases, or at least incredibly loyal fan bases out there, right?
Yeah. Well, the thing is that you got to remember something, like, for example, with Ninja Turtles, right?
Yeah.
That was something that started off indie property, Eastman and Laird. Of course, most people know the story. If you don't, basically 2 guys, they do a black and white comic book that is not really meant for kids, indie comic book with anthropomorphic turtles that are just very violent. Because again, it wasn't meant for kids when it first started out. But the thing was, they sold it around. They self-published and sold it around locally, and it sold out immediately. The demand for it came almost immediate. It was pretty much an overnight success for them, at least locally. Then they had to produce more and more of it. Now they managed to get the attention of Playmates Toys. This is where things changed for Eastman and Laird. Okay, because once Playmates Toys became interested in their property, this is where we get the birth of the cartoon show, and we really get Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles turned into this franchise. You know what I mean? That is going to be worth a lot of money down the line. It's because of that the toy deal is really what made these guys millionaires. You know what I mean? Once they
the toy deals with these things.
Once they secured that deal, that was it. They were off and running to the races. You know what I mean? And then of course, like as is the common practice with a lot of why cartoons exist, they especially in the 80s, they kind of they
sell toys.
That's something that they really perfected in the 80s was creating cartoon shows just to sell these toys, just to sell the merchandise. And it was perfect for the Ninja Turtles then. You know what I mean? But again, all that is based on these guys hustling. You know what I mean? From day one.
Sorry, I gotta highlight this comment. Behind every good kids show are toy deals.
Yep, pretty much. I mean, that's that. I mean, mostly that's mostly true. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I guess my point of bringing that all up, right, is that those properties, they just fell into that, right? It just happened. It happened organically, right? With someone like Mags, she does it in reverse. She plans to get the fucking she plans to get the TV show first, and then works on a comic book that will suit it. Right? It doesn't work that way. And that's why your shit that's why you just produce shit all the time.
Well, it's not just that. It's just like that also is indicative of the fact. Here's the thing. The comics don't sell well because they're not a good writer. You know what I mean? They don't know how to keep people's attention. That's really what it boils down to as well. You gotta bring that comes into this scenario as well, because here's the thing. If a story is compelling enough, I mean, granted, the art has a lot, has to complement the story as well. But if you got a good enough compelling story, sometimes people can overlook bad art. You know what I mean? If it's a good enough story that's being told, that's enough to keep their attention. Some people can overlook bad art and say, you know what, it's not too pleasing on the eyes, but I like what's going on here. You know what I mean?
No joke, John. Like for the longest time, and I'm a massive One Piece fan, right? For the longest time, I would not watch that show because I looked at the art style and I was like, oh, by the way, speaking of which, my One Piece wanted posters finally came in.
There you go, boom.
Yeah, I'm gonna get these hung up by tomorrow.
Why isn't Aura in here?
He'll be here in a little bit.
It better be.
Yep.
Better be Aura. No,
my point with One Piece, like obviously, I think when I first saw it, to me, like that art style was very off-putting from what I was used to as like an anime fan, right? Used to watching stuff from like fucking Dragon Ball, right? There was, stuff like that. And then you go to fucking One Piece, right? And that art style is so different. And I just I couldn't get into it, right? Yeah. But then everyone told me that story is amazing. So I would sit there and I said, okay, the art style started to grow on me. And the story was just incredible, right? I mean, we're talking about one long, consistent story that's been going on for nearly 1,000 chapters, right? So, and yeah, there's still some wonky fucking designs that are in One Piece, believe me. Some really just off-putting stuff. But it works, right? It works with that story. And that story is worth all of it. It is worth going through every single one of those chapters.
Well, I'll give you an example, right? Of a story that really kept me in, but artwork that I didn't care for. And this might be controversial for anybody that was fans of this run. But if you all remember, there was a run by in the early 2000s, New X-Men by
I know what you're talking about.
Grant Morrison's run on the New X-Men was fantastic. Now I don't like it's not that Frank Quietly is a terrible, or is it Quietly? I always it's Quietly, my bad. I always say Quietly, but it's actually Quietly is his last name. But I don't like his artwork. His artwork is very off-putting to me. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just I don't care for it. Frank Quietly's artwork is just not my taste. It just isn't. But that new X-Men run, the story was fantastic. You know, and that's what kept me coming back to it. It sure as hell wasn't the artwork.
Yep.
I can say that right now. It was the story. I just don't like the way Frank quietly draws people. He draws them, they all look the same in my
you can look at some of these images, right? To me, I had trouble reading this, right? I did, because it's like you said, the artwork here is just
look at
Wolverine.
Look at the one picture right there, like the one with the what is it, like 7 X-Men on it?
This one here.
Lower down. Yeah, that's one there too. But like, I mean, it's just not my cup of tea. I don't care for it. You know, I mean, it's just not. You know, the people, the way he draws them, they all look very much the same. I mean, look at that. It just it's weird.
It's very off-putting, right?
Yeah.
And again, there are some people who probably really like that art style.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's plenty of people do. I don't care for it though. It's one of those things that I didn't care for reading the run. I was just like, gosh, man, I'm not feeling the artwork. But the story was so good. That's what kept me coming back. That's what kept me coming back to read Grant Morrison's run. I mean, I already knew Grant Morrison was a great writer, but I especially love his run on New X-Men. That's probably my favorite thing of his that he ever wrote. You know what I mean? Of all the stuff of all the Grant Morrison stuff I've read, that's probably, in my opinion, that's like cream of the crop when it comes to his work, in my opinion.
No, what I read through the new X-Men run, and I thought the stuff with Xavier's sister was a little bit trippy, but it was good. It was really fucking good.
It was good. I mean, it seems like a bad, because that's the thing, on the surface you read it seems like a bad plot from like a soap opera, but it's just like, you know what, it works. It all makes sense at why it works, and it's just it seemed like pulling something completely out of left field to sell X-Men comics. But,
right.
But yeah, because it's like a bad soap opera plot. It's like, oh my gosh, Charles Xavier had a twin sister. Oh my gosh, he tried to kill her in the womb. Oh my gosh, he's back for revenge. And it's just like, it's all this ridiculous stuff, but it was great. It was great.
And I forget the name of the of his sister in there. I'm blanking on it right now.
Cassandra Nova Xavier.
Okay. Okay, she's a compelling fucking villain.
Oh, absolutely,
really compelling. Just like you want them to fucking end her, right? Like, she's that good. I think it's a trademark of a great villain is either they're incredibly sympathetic or they are so fucking aggravating.
Well, they're so evil.
Want them to be taken down.
Dude, Xavier tried to kill her in the womb. Yeah. He tried to kill her in the womb. That should tell you how, like, he knew from the time that they were in the womb that she was going to be evil.
What? Yeah, I know, right?
He was like, oh no, you gotta go.
and again, that's actually one of the things that, again, not to keep talking about One Piece, but it's one of those things that One Piece does really well too. Their villains are captivating, and they put the main cast through all kinds of fucking hell. Doflamingo, right? The shit that he does, turning people into his own fucking puppets. Like, you want to see them get their ass kicked. And if you can make the reader, right? I'm not like just hate that person, just root for the good guy to just fucking win, right? Against all odds, but you want them to win. It captivates you, makes you want to pick up the next issue. You have to see how it ends. Right? I don't see any of that talent from any of these people.
No,
right?
Well, that's again, and especially the sign of a good writer is when they can do something like that, right? Like, look at this. Like, to me, in this new X-Men run, and again, it's not to say that Frank Quietly is a bad artist. It's just not. I don't find his art is not attractive to me. I don't think it's very good. You know what I mean? Or what I like, right? But it's not to say that he's not a good artist to someone else. But what kept a lot of people enticed, and I know, and I've met other people that agree. You know, they say, yeah, I don't care for his artwork either. But that storyline, though, it was so good. That just shows you, that it just shows you how big of a role the writer plays in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if you have like I said, if you have bad artwork or you have artwork that is maybe not the most appealing, what's going to keep people coming back is a compelling story. That's the sign of a really good writer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That it's just like, I'm going to put up with this only because I want to know what happens next. You know what I mean? That's a sign of a really good writer, I think. And I don't see any of those qualities in a person like, you know, Max. You know, I don't see it in the writing. It's just not there, you know? It's just not there. It's just my opinion, you know, it's just not there. It's not there in the writing. So it shows. Again, you know, the numbers don't lie when it comes to stuff like that. You know? It's just
so let me read a couple of these comments here from people. 224 Vic says Unicron trilogy is where it's at. I'm taking it that's Transformers.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm pretty sure. I'm referring to the 90s show where Optimus Primal is Optimus Prime.
Yeah, they're talking about Beast Wars. Optimus Primal is not Optimus Prime. It's a completely different character. But they are kind of they're obviously in that kind of same vein, but they're actually different characters. Yeah, he was the leader of the Maximals, who is like the equivalent of the Autobots in the other Transformer shows. Yeah, he was in Beast Wars and Beast Machines. Optimus Prime.
At least Doflamingo was sympathizable. A little bit, right? A little bit, but I mean, all of the villains, for the most part, really, really drag you in. Fucking Arlong, right? Don Krieg's arc was very short, and Don Krieg was very memorable to me for the piece of shit that he was, right?
Well, if we're gonna get into anime, like, you know, there's a lot of villains that are sympathetic and empathetic, like especially like in Fist of the North Star. There's a bunch, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think like manga really is where it's at for these stories right now, just in general, because you still find you are captivated. Like I am still every fucking time there is a new One Piece chapter, I like immediately I have to read it immediately. Right? I don't want any spoilers. I want to read it right away. I have to get it. And there have been times where I felt that way, like reading Spider-Man, and I haven't felt the same way in a long time. Some of the new stuff's okay. It's just it doesn't grip me the same way that it used to. It doesn't grip me the way that manga does.
To me, the best time in comics was the early 2000s, in my opinion. You know what I mean? That was like, you know, the early 2000s into the late 2000s there was some decent stuff, but especially the early 2000s, there was dudes hitting stuff out of the park. I mean, I
loved the new Avengers run. Honestly, I did. I thought it was great. Yeah. I did, and you know, that was kind of like when I started getting into comics.
When Bendis was still good, you mean? When Bendis was right?
Yeah. And I know people like really, because I saw like people complain and said like, oh, you know, Tony Stark's flip to being this way with the Civil War arc that was done in the comics, that wasn't good. But to me, reading that, like, I had to see what happened next. I'm sitting there. You know, fucking Spidey reveals his identity to the public. Fucking Tony Stark is putting heroes into secret fucking prisons. It's dark shit, right? It's really dark shit.
It's compelling writing. I mean, and that's the thing. That's what you got with that run in the, you know, in, like I said, from the early 2000s to, you know, mid, you know, late 2000s. There was some good stuff sprinkled in there. I think that was probably the last good stuff that was in comics for a real long time. Like in the early 2000s, even starting as far back, I would say, is maybe 99, right? From then, there was some real good stuff coming out. That's when DC really, I don't know if you were collecting around this time, but in the early 2000s, DC took the lead over Marvel in sales for quite a while, for a couple years actually, and that was when Jeff Johns really rose into prominence over at DC, because he was writing hit after, he had the golden touch, man. Jeff Johns was writing hit after hit after hit. He single-handedly was. That's why, like, when I talk about like the Mount Rushmore of like comics, he's a guy that absolutely belongs on it, because this is a guy that, just came up as a writer, bros, and single-handedly turned around this company and brought characters back into the limelight that people had started to their interest had started to wane in them. If you think about the stuff that Jeff Johns has done, Green Lantern Rebirth, which pretty much rebooted Green Lantern and probably produced the most successful Green Lanterns run there had been in, probably like the last 20 years at that point.
Yeah. Blackest Night.
Before Blackest Night. I mean, just the Sinestro Corps Award, all that stuff. I mean, everything that Jeff Johns was doing, like he had the Midas touch, man. I mean, his run on the Flash was fantastic. His run on Teen Titans was fantastic. That's what, to me, his run on Teen Titans. His run on Teen Titans is I love almost as much as George Perez and Marv Wolfman's run on Teen Titans. To me, it brought back those kind of feelings in terms of what I love so much about the Teen Titans. You know what I mean? Like,
hey, Sushi, welcome to the chat. I think she wanted attention. Sorry.
Yeah, but he's a guy that turned the tide. He turned the fortunes of an entire company completely over, up to the point where he got promoted, to I believe editor-in-chief of the company at one point in time. And he's been largely successful, and Ethan was able to work on a lot of those big projects with him too. Flash Rebirth, Lantern Rebirth, what I mean? So,
and really, like and this is, I think this is more like mid 2000s if I'm not mistaken, but one of my favorite comics at the time, it's one of my favorite DC animated movies too, was Batman Under the Hood, right? And it sounds like such a stupid idea, bringing back Jason Todd.
Dude, it was great. Under the Hood was one of the most compelling Batman stories,
right?
In the last 10, bro?
Yeah. Oh my god, dude. As far as like, I don't know, we're just nerding out at this point.
Well, that was one of those times where bringing back a character the way they did didn't seem like it was perfect the way they did it.
But if I said to you, right, back then, before you read Batman Under the Hood, that they're going to bring back Jason Todd and he's going to be evil, right? You said, "Oh, that's dumb," right? I would feel the same way, right?
Yeah,
I really would, because it sounds like such a dumb thing. But the way that they do it, right, the execution there is incredible. And as far as like a sympathetic villain, right, who's also just mad.
Yeah,
Red Hood was perfect, right? And they tried bringing him back into later stuff. It didn't work at all for me, right? But that again, you just don't see that anymore. Like, there's fun stuff in comics today, but you don't see anything like that. Anything that is just that groundbreaking, right? Actually.
The only thing that had gotten people remotely close to being excited about, getting into comics again was when Jonathan Hickman was doing the X-Men, and then that went off about as well as a fart in the church. You know what I mean? It's just like, wow, okay, well, there we go. It's just like, these high expectations, because it sucks because Jonathan Hickman he's a good writer, but that was not one of his best showings, and it's just like it's disappointing.
So I got to correct our chat though, because they're saying Under the Red Hood was great. Rodimus is trying to correct me here, saying Under the Red Hood. No, Under the Red Hood is the animated film. Under the Hood was the name of the comic. And sorry, just one thing I'm really excited for. I know I shouldn't be, but it looks like they brought back the original voice cast, and they're going to be doing Death in the Family, but they're going to be doing a choose your own ending. And if you follow the way that Jason Todd dying,
it's happened back in the day.
Yeah, no, it was that it's the way that they're doing it, right? I like the DC animated films. I think they do a great job, but the way that they're doing it, right? If you allow Jason Todd to just die the way that he's supposed to die, it just plays Under the Red Hood, right? It just continues on with Under the Red Hood. But then if you save him, he becomes a vigilante Robin. If you if Jason Todd escapes his death, he comes back as a disfigured Hush, right? Like I was watching that, I'm like, oh my god, giving me my favorite fucking DC animated movie in 3 different ways: original, disfigured, and just terrible apprentice. I love it.
There you go. That's a selling point for sure.
It totally is. Hey, Aura, hello.
What's up?
We're just nerding out now.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Aura's here, so we gotta get back into it. Aura's a no-nonsense kind of guy.
Freddy Krueger was on the island.
Oh,
I was
Robert
really
Englund?
Yes.
Robert Englund was on the island. Oh no!
God. I was
Now it all
wondering
makes
what
sense.
you meant by that.
You heard.
Freddy Krueger was also in the network.
Oh no!
Interesting. You know that you heard about his comments not too long ago, right?
I was kidding. I don't know if that's true or not. Like, why? What did he say?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. You know, there's a lot of celebrities that
What the fuck did Robert Englund say? I love Freddy Krueger. What do you mean?
He said some controversial stuff lately about like
I see Epstein in my dreams.
No, he was saying something about like in the new Nightmare. If they go back to making any more Nightmare on Elm Street movies, it should be about kids exploring their sexuality, and it's just like what?
Well, Freddy Krueger was that kind of guy.
Yeah.
The fuck?
I mean, it's just kind of like, you know.
Are you not a Freddy Krueger fan?
I mean, exploring their sexuality in terms of like, you know, a lot of like, I mean, I think he meant like kids, not actual teenagers.
Oh, Jesus, Rodimus Supreme.
So
hold on.
it was something crazy
gotta
like that.
Link into the chat for people.
I mean, well, it was always in the 80s movies. Here's the thing. In the 80s movies, it was always kind of, they didn't really say that he was a P to the E to the D to the O. They always heavily implied it. It wasn't until Freddy's dead is where they kind of outright kind of admitted to the fact that that's exactly what he was. You know,
no, what is it? He shows up in the network. He's in the network. He shows up every 14 days. You guys should join the network so you can see him. He's in there. I'm in the network. We're all in the network.
What are you talking about? We're all in the network. What does that mean?
What do you mean? Freddy Krueger shows up and all he says is small pee-pee, and that's it. This is fucking terrible. What?
No, just
what?
You made me laugh. That's all.
No, Freddy Krueger, he's in the network. Don't fucking sleep on that shit, dude. He's there.
He's sleep with Freddy Krueger out there.
Well, you can only see him if you go to sleep.
Exactly. So Freddy Krueger's out there. Don't go to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you literally cannot sleep on that shit.
So what are we talking about for real though? Freddy Krueger's there, but be careful. Like what are we talking about?
So we're 1/3 of the way through the article, the first one.
Okay. Damn, the first one?
Yeah.
What time is it? The first one? It's almost midnight.
Well, the first article is pretty long, man. It's not a
didn't
short article.
Subcategorize it? It doesn't matter.
I mean, it's a long. The first article is not. It's not a small article.
That's what Freddie said. That's what he said in the network.
Okay. Aura.
Yeah.
How do you like the music?
It's not bad. I dig it.
Why did I get the feeling you'd be like, it's not what I would have chosen, but
it's not.
That's what he wanted to say. It's not what I would have chosen, but
everybody's like always like, we want music to play. We want music to play. I found music that I could play. It's all copyright free. Play it throughout the entire stream. When fucking Aura shows up, I would have picked something else.
Okay, I don't know. I don't take pills. What is it, Cyan? I don't know what this creepypasta is, but Freddy's in the network. Rodimus Supreme. We are the network. Exactly. Surprise, surprise. All right, he didn't read it before.
What?
It's cute. It's cute. He actually he didn't subcategorize it. Basically, the way.
Read it.
Yeah, I know you read it, but I'm like, it's the bullshit I do for you. But like, I didn't do it.
I don't like to subcategorize because there's stuff that I want to read through, and I don't want to miss context on something like this.
That's fine, because it's usually what you would tell me anyway. That's why I didn't bother doing it.
Thank you.
Small PP.
Okay, so
why do you keep saying that?
That's what Freddie says. I don't say that.
All right, so I'm gonna go into it. So Just to catch up, they've denied for years they coordinate their actions in private, and yet they always coincidentally appear on Twitter, retweeting and amplifying each other's accusations, signal boosting one another, and helping them gain traction. Their allies in media, Bleeding Cool and CBR specifically, will turn those same tweets into stories almost instantly and with no fact-checking or verification, sometimes within the hour. I'm going to start explaining who the key actors are and from my experience how they coordinate these attacks. So, Alex DeCampi is well-connected despite never being a part of the Big Two. Since for what I've been told, management is well aware of her bullying, harassment, rumor spreading, and unethical behavior that goes back years, and depending on who you talk to, she's almost as notorious as Antos or Tess Fowler. She just wrapped up a graphic novel campaign on Kickstarter with David Bowie's son. Jesus. It grossed over $366,000. I mean... So, here we go. All the while she makes basically accusations while demanding transparency from everyone else. Comics publishers need an independent, dedicated HR person who victims can confidentially and safely approach when their freelancers harass colleagues and fans, and there need to be real consequences attached to those reports. But that would involve admitting a problem exists. The absolute fucking lack of self-awareness going on there. Now, I'll take you into the private network. So 2 years ago, May 13, 2018, DeCampi launched a private campaign to target an independent creator, claiming she was using her connections to have Simon & Schuster cancel their book. So this is from the Facebook group. Hey folks, so apparently Richard Meyer's shitty graphic novel, Jawbreakers, is going to be distributed by Simon & Schuster. I have all these folks on mute for sanity reasons, but if anyone finds out more details on this, please let me know so I can talk to my folks at SNS and try to stop that shit from happening. That, okay, like that right there. He has a book deal. Send me as much dirt as you can on him, and I'll contact people in that company and get them to drop the book. That's, That to me is very clear cut, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Pretty much.
It's so crappy too. It's just like, just because you hate the guy, it's just like you're going to sit there and try to cost him an opportunity. You know what I mean? To get his work out there, just because you don't like him, because you have a you have a certain perception about him that you don't know to be true. It's just what you have been told or what you speculate on. You know what I mean? You can't actually verify any of it to be true. It's just what you believe, but that's enough for you to try to ruin his entire life. You know what I mean? Or try to ruin his career, essentially.
I mean, but look at this. I saw that someone said this, but because this is 2 years ago, but who knows how true it is. They're also threatening to sue Mark Wade, him or someone involved, using some FTC regulation. They are delusional people. Wow. That fucking aged beautifully.
Well, Tamara Bonvillain is the one that worked with Eric Esquivel. This is the person that said that they knew that Eric Esquivel had heard that Eric Esquivel had certain proclivities, but, well.
Proclivity?
Proclivities.
What that mean?
It means predilections.
What that mean?
It means
that's two big words.
Yeah.
It means that this person had known that supposedly Eric Esquivel, liked to, or had heard that he liked to treat women a certain way and had done some questionable stuff with women in terms of, how should we say, I guess abuse, you know what I mean? So, but they did nothing,
Well, so there's more here on this Alex DeCampi person, right? So, in the following month, on June 23rd, 2018, DeCampi posted private text messages between herself and writer Max Bemis in what appeared to be an attempt to damage his career. Despite Bemis being mentally ill, and that's not an insult, he was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, DeCampi still posted the private messages with malicious intent, IMO. Now, they say according to US and UK law, this is an actionable offense, posting private text without both parties' consent. I don't believe that is U.S. law. It might be UK law. But I believe in US, you have to be recorded. Private text conversations, I don't believe that's an actionable offense. But
I don't think they fall into that either. Yeah, I don't think they fall into that purview. I think it's only recorded.
Yeah, but it's a shitty thing to do, right? If you have someone that you know, because 2014, 4 years ago, so if you know someone has bipolar disorder and you're taking their messages when they're having a manic episode in order to damage them, that is, again, the shit that Zoe Quinn did, right? That is so fucking disgusting. But that's how these people are. They're fucking disgusting human beings on every fucking level. Max fucking Bemis, ladies and non-binary folk. Yeah, you're a cunt. Because he's the real victim here. I'm sorry, Max. Shitcoin is no longer accepted at this establishment. Yeah. This is screwed up, right? Like, this is fucked up. I could cry. I just feel kind of bullied by you, but everything's a learning experience. Either way, I think you're brilliant, right? He sounds like such an awful fucking person. Jeez. That lady's fucking awful. 2 months later, on August 26, 2018, DeCampi singled out Colin Bunn for a private bullying campaign, all in an attempt to damage his career, IMO, in my opinion. This was an attempt to loosely link Bunn to Comicsgate, even in the flimsiest way, hoping it would prevent him from earning income if the rumor spread far enough. Publicly and privately, this is one of the Whisper Network's primary tactics. So, they put this link over here. I should probably... I don't know if they actually show what the exact image is.
Keep in mind about something else here that's worth pointing out. These are all people. Her targets are all people that are more successful than her. Way more. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm gonna see if I can actually find that tweet.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't need you, Aurora. I can figure this stuff out.
Your music is making me so fucking somber right now.
Oh my god! I pull up chill music.
I'm not bitching. I'm just saying it's working.
I'll play on another one.
What's up? What's up, Rev?
All right. So this is it. This is the shit. Now, is everyone in this movement a bad person? So this is him talking about Comicsgate, I guess.
Yeah.
Now, is everyone in this movement a bad person? No. I'm not going to say that. Misguided? Yeah. Bad? No. In fact, I might go as far as to say most of the people associated with the group aren't bad people. That was it. That was it. That's fucking terrible. That is fucking terrible. That was it. That's all he said.
I mean, what else can you say? You know, like
fuck.
That what do you mean? Like that's all he said. That was more than enough.
Yeah, right. I just saw this as well. Sigh indeed. Ignoring it only makes it go away for you. Those in the crosshairs still get hit. If you can ignore it, you are privileged. The most privileged, terrible fucking people on the planet talking about other people's privilege. Jesus, man. These people are fucking awful. These people are fucking terrible. Notice which names keep popping up. Then most recently on April 17, 2020, DeCampi began spreading unverified rumors that Dynamite Comics was not paying their contractors. This was malicious, in my opinion, and was only designed to hurt the reputation of the company. She provided no evidence of her claims, to my knowledge. Hey folks, I've heard from artist friends that Dynamite has basically stopped paying freelancers and its accounting department isn't responding to anyone. So if you're waiting on checks from them or working away on books for them, assuming they'll pay, maybe make a backup plan. And look, no, awful. Oh, so surprised. It's almost like taking $300K from EBS wasn't worth it. Jesus, man. They fucking hate that guy. But lately, DeCampi hasn't even been hiding her accusations and malicious behavior. It's just that no one is calling her out on it. CEO of Dynamite Comics popped into a CG stream to donate money. Please consider that in the future. Yeah. You know what? Hail fucking Dynamite Comics for that shit. Jesus. On June 25th, 2020, DeCampi publicly accused DC Comics writer Scott Snyder of lying when he pledged not to abuse, harass, or groom women.
Ooh.
Dude, Scott Snyder is the one who brought us to the Court of Owls.
Scott Snyder did a lot of other things too, didn't he?
I know. I'm just saying, like that's one of the most memorable things for me. Because the Court of Owls, when he introduced them, were great fucking villains.
I'm thinking of Jeff Johns too. Shit.
Yeah,
Jeff Johns amazing.
I'm like, how are you gonna go after that man? How are we gonna go after that man?
Would you be surprised though?
I'm not. I wouldn't be.
Watch Todd McFarlane be like orchestrating everything. Oh my god, heart.
No, Todd McFarlane. Nah, Todd McFarlane. He's a G, bro. He's a gangster,
John.
bro.
Okay, John. Okay.
Listen, don't you talk about the Todd father like that. Okay. Never in my presence.
Mm-hmm. Then you're gonna see next week. There's another network. I hope they cancel everybody. You know, like fucking.
I mean, the little list that he does there. That's pretty good. This is what you gotta do. All right.
Telling you.
Stop effing writing for Marvel and DC, and you will succeed.
Man's a legend.
On June 25th, 2020, DeCampi publicly accused DC Comics writer, so we got that. Again, DeCampi offered no proof of Snyder committing any sex crimes or that he was planning to commit a crime in the future. Here's a link to Bleeding Cool publishing her claim that she doesn't believe Scott would say no to abusing, grooming, and harassing. That is fucked up. Hold on. Let me let's see. So this was the comics pledge, right? Male comic creator takes the comics pledge a first step. In recent weeks, so let's see this shit. I just want to see them talking about this. So here we go. The pledge has been tweeted out by many well-known and well-regarded comic book creators, but there has also been word of warning by many who see this as, on its own, a potential empty gesture. Yeah. Hey, Scott Snyder, fan of your work. Stop bending your fucking knee. Jesus, man. It doesn't matter what you do. Stop bending your fucking knee to these fucking psychopaths who are only going to use it against you, you dumbasses. Holy fuck. It's like you will never bend it down hard enough. Maybe he just likes being stepped on by these fucking cunts. I don't know. But holy shit.
Eso no se hace.
Yeah, whatever. So, Bleeding Cool Comics Alex DeCampi replied to Scott Snyder's pledge. Wait, Bleeding Cool columnist? On the bleedingcool.com. Yeah, fuck you people. Fuck you people. Saying, this is cute, but one, we don't believe you. And two, it goes way beyond this to things like speaking up and using your privilege to push change. When you see that nobody at Marvel is fuck off, you stupid. I believe that we need to hire more minority people of color because they're just not capable of getting these jobs on their own. Yeah. Look, soft bigotry of low expectations, as John has said. White nationalist with guilty fucking consciences. Like, just this one believes that she is better than other people, and she's not. She's just a person with an overinflated ego and is just god-awful, right? I say person in the sense that, like, she's a human being, but on a spiritual level, we're talking about, like, a scorpion, right? Yeah.
No, you go ahead. Finish.
No, yeah, just, you can't go anywhere near them, right? Because no matter what, the scorpion's gonna fucking sting you. Or a wasp. The wasp is another good analogy.
Wasp was a prick.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Alex DeCampi.
Middle fingers in the chat? Middle fingers? Middle fingers to the... Middle fingers in the chat, everybody, for whoever this was.
Okay, so here, let's go back up. Okay, so this is her tweet about it, right? So she works for fucking Bleeding Cool as a columnist, right? Or, whatever. And Bleeding Cool writes the article talking about this tweet she made. Like, that's fucked up. That's really, I don't know, like conflict of interest or whatever, but like, Jesus, man. DeCampi is the Zoe Quinn of comic book media. From what I've seen and heard, DeCampi has deep personal relationships with certain members of the comic book media, which I believe is why she feels emboldened to do and say anything she wants with no fear of consequences. And from my perspective, DeCampi mirrors her Whisper Network comrade Zoe Quinn in many ways, whose deep personal relationships with gaming media are well documented too. The glowing praise about DeCampi from certain online outlets, or for certain outlets, paints a picture. Take the following excerpts more like hagiographies. That's a nice word. For example, which are from Rich Johnston at Bleeding Cool. So yeah, these people are all fucking each other. I don't mean that as sexual. I mean like they're all just like in a fucking snake pit, slithering around with each other. Just nasty. Moon and Mute director Duncan Jones is committed to making a movie based on the 2080 comic book Rogue Trooper. But the last update we got on that project was back in January 2019. While the project appears to be stalling a bit, Jones is now working with legendary comic creator and innovator and former Bleeding Cool columnist. Yeah, good. Who wrote this article? Rich Johnston? She ain't gonna sleep with you, stupid fuck. Alice DeCampi, Ryan Howe, and Dee Kanifi launched Bad Karma Comics. Rich Johnston again. Oh boy, I really hope you got a handy out of this. DeCampi is one of the greatest living comic book writers. Please, just touch it a little bit.
What? I don't even know what the fuck that is. The fucking greatest writers there is. What are you talking about? Rev, there's a sect of bad people on Facebook of all places, and they ruin careers and shit. Yeah. That's what's happening.
I like Rev. I'm too sober for this shit. Pixlexia, I'm not sober enough for this.
Y'all make up your mind.
Take your pick. You'll never be ready for it. And lately, her online bullying and harassment has gotten even more brazen. So this is June 25th, 2020. So this wasn't that long ago. DeCampi all but told her Twitter followers to DM her if they wanted to hear rumors about the jerks whose careers she'd like to damage. This sort of open and casual comment on destroying people's livelihoods has still gone unchecked. Children, you can just DM me rather than playing Guess the Jerk in my mentions. Yeah. I'm tempted to make an alt account and DM her just to get her to talk a bunch of shit about people and then make an entire video talking about it.
Well, you need to make an alt account, bitch.
Actually, Aura, can you make me an alt account?
Sure.
Because anytime I make an alt account, it gets like zapped.
I'll make you Freddy Krueger.
Wink. Oh, no. Aura. You're actually more polite than I am.
Mm-hmm.
Can you make an alt account? Or can you use one of your alt accounts that doesn't have anything feisty on it?
I don't know what to tell you. I have Panic and I have Squidward. Which one do you use? I'll use Squidward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's see what we can dig up.
What do you I'm going to infiltrate as handsome Squidward?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm on it. I'm going right now. I like comic books and stuff.
Malicious tweets like this rarely go unchecked because DeCampi knows her vast media contacts, allies to the Whisper Network, won't hold her accountable. Of course they won't. They all want their PPs touched. The theory goes something like this. Anyone in the comic media is already in the Whisper Network's pocket or simply too cowardly to speak up, or they want their PP touched. Anyone outside of the comic book media won't pay attention to this disgusting behavior because the comic industry is simply too small to make a national story out of. But make no mistake, if Jim Lee or Joe Quesada publicly made a statement like this, every media outlet on the globe would be reporting it within an hour, and those men would be expected to resign. They don't have the privileges that the Whisper Network provides. Hey, female privilege. Things to watch for when this story goes public. Who defends Alex DeCampi and the rest of the Whisper Network's behavior? Most vocal supporters will likely be Whisper Network allies or in the network itself. Which comic media outlets will totally ignore the story? A lot. If this were someone outside the Whisper Network, it would generate weeks of news. But for DeCampi, most comic book news outlets will undoubtedly protect her. And finally, who at Marvel, DC, and other companies will take action? A wider HR effort is needed to stop the bullying, harassment, rumor spreading, lying, and other forms of sabotage in the careers of fellow creators, especially in cases where there's no evidence and social media is clearly being weaponized by members of the Whisper Network. So they go into their final words, right? And I put a link in earlier, so make sure you check out everything here for yourself. This is not over. I have a lot more evidence and will continue to pour in from various sources. As you can see, there's still many more files to be opened.
Jesus. Oh my God.
Look at this. Look at this. Heather Antos, Augur, Bond Villain, Rachel Reed. I can't say that last name. Henderson, DeCampi, Cook. I mean, DeCampi's the one that he or she really went into here. Cook, Stephanie, Coleman, Visaggio, Amy Shu, De Guzman, Howard, Alana Marie, Tess Fowler, Clunan, Pentozzi, McDonald. That's a lot there. So, Penny Parker, she. I apologize. Now, this is the next article. I don't believe it's as long. And it probably is as long, and I'm just making that up. So
you should read it as like Squidward. No, actually, don't do that. It was a stupid joke. I don't want you to do that.
Since exposing the Whisper Network, tips and testimonials have flooded into Bleeding Pool inbox from all corners of the internet.
I take it back,
feels
please.
like a tectonic shift is happening, and we're still nowhere near done decontaminating the comics industry. Perhaps this series will be enough disinfecting light to foil those wicked plans we'll see. Don't ask me to do that again.
I'd take it back.
Because I will fucking do it.
Please, don't.
Okay. Every time you say the Whisper Network, I play the Whisper song in my head, which means I automatically can't take any of those people seriously. I'm Squidward.
No.
Cheshire.
No.
Cyan, we're all Squidward. Kayla, you asked for this aura. When I hear Whisper, I think of Careless Whisper. Oh, that song! Holy fuck.
Never gonna dance again. Guilty feet have got no rhythm. You can go, by the way.
So it's easy to pretend. I know you're not a fool. Or you gotta do the next part.
Oh, should have known better than to cheat a friend and waste the
chance that I've been given.
So I'm never gonna dance again
until I dance with you.
John is so ashamed. John is ashamed of us. John, just leave us here with your
peace, George Michael. That was pretty good. Thank you. Thank you for that, Aura.
One's in the chat if you want Crow to be Squidward, but I'm Squidward. Wait,
God, I gotta read this whole.
Or Squidward.
Now, this article was like 5 days ago. Jesus, I can't do that this entire time.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, it's too much. It's gonna make my nose run and shit. Since exposing the Whisper Network, tips and testimonials have flooded into the Bleeding Pool inbox from all corners of the internet. It feels like a tectonic shift is happening. We're still nowhere near done decontaminating the comics industry. Perhaps the series will be enough disinfecting light to foil those wicked plans we'll see. So for this installment, I'll go into the first present, an untold history lesson of a massive crime that was initially reported and swiftly followed by a media cover-up that I think a lot of people completely miss. Sometimes it's what the media doesn't report that makes a difference. They will go back inside the secret Women of Comics Facebook group where I'll demonstrate why I think this popular DC Comics writer is the next target of the Whisper Network. And while we're in there, let's expose who the head honchos of the group are, shall we? Before we dive in, let me quickly recap the common reaction to part 1 of Whisper Network. Is thing even real? I'm gonna just go to the next section here because I mean we saw everything. But here we go. This is why the bathroom line is so long at Comic-Con. We all go together to plot the destruction of the comics industry. And rest assured, 95% of the time, we're not talking about guys. We're like how tired we are and lots of cat pics. In fact, this is damning evidence of much larger conspiracy beyond us, blah, 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 blah. Is she trying to convince her followers that the secret group of non-binary and transgender pros that I've uncovered only exists to talk about how tired they are and share cat pictures 99% of the time? Well, as Alex DeCampi has replied to those men who claim to be innocent of sexual assault, Cute, but we don't believe you. Good job. Good job. That's part one recap. So, felony charges and the disappearing news coverage. If a Hugo Award-nominated Eisner Award-winning comics writer publicly accused someone else in the comics industry of a felony crime, would you expect the comics media to report it? The media sure made a big deal when the late, great Stan Lee accused his assistant of theft. But when New York Times bestseller and legendary comic book pro Bill Willingham, the man responsible for the award-winning DC Vertigo comic book series Fables, recently accused his assistant of embezzlement, the story got memory hold. His assistant had been very eager to break into the business years earlier, and everything was presumably going well until he began to notice that a lot of his money had gone missing. 3 years into her employment, Willingham became convinced that his assistant had betrayed him and that she had embezzled in excess of $10,000 from his accounts. Willingham filed charges with the local authorities, and a criminal case was launched. The female assistant in question just happened to be one of the Whisper Network's rising stars, none other than Stephanie Cook, who's working on Tartarus for Image Comics. Oh. Yeah. That's the face. That's the face of a thief. Allegedly. In fact, Bill Willingham made the incident very public, releasing the news to the comic industry press with the following statement. It needs to be reported that during the 3 years she worked for me, Stephanie Cook embezzled and outright stole from me in total in excess of $10,000. Unfortunately, I can't give you anything approaching the exact figure yet, and we're still uncovering instances of theft. That was in 2015. Here's the next excerpt from the public statement. Now, let's see here. Recently comes to my attention that my former personal assistant, Stephanie Cook of Toronto, Ontario, oh my gosh, she's fucking Canadian, has been seeking, right? Yeah, it's Canadian, has been seeking new work in the comic book field as a personal assistant. Specifically, I referenced this. On September 4th, she tweeted, "Hey, comic pros, need an assistant to help you lose your money? Hire me." And it goes on from there, mentioning her past experience and examples of the various services she offers. It needs to report that during the 3 years she worked for me, Stephanie Cook embezzled and outright stole from me a total in excess of $10,000. Unfortunately, I can't give you exact yada. Bill talks about police charges he's pressing, gives a case number for the proceedings, and says that the reason he is taking this public is Brent Cook from working in a similar fashion elsewhere. He then interviews himself in a Q&A article, and which answers himself with a list of allegations of fraudulent behavior against Cook, including withdrawing too much salary on his cards and using additional amounts of his money to fund her own projects, buy social media followers, oh, you dumb bitch, and fly to Boston for a show claiming someone else was paying. Oh, you wicked bitch. And he states that if she comes back to the USA from Canada, she may be arrested. Oh, is this cunt hiding in Canada? Wow. According to the folks I spoke with, Cook was well known by Willingham's friends and family, and everyone knew this had happened. They also told me that this was considered an open secret in the comic business. For some reason, those I spoke with have been privately discussing Cook's embezzlement since 2015, but none dared bring it up publicly. For them, Cook's name had strangely become a sort of Voldemort. Stephanie fucking Cook. Stephanie's a fucking thief, Cook. Allegedly. Stephanie is hiding in Canada to avoid criminal charges in the United States, allegedly, Cook. That doesn't sound like Voldemort. Perhaps because of her reputation and media connections, they're worried about some kind of backlash to their careers. They spoke out even if everything they were saying was completely true. Well, I mean, there's one way for Stephanie Cook to prove it's false. All she has to do is take some of the money she stole, buy a flight to the United States, and if the cops don't arrest her, but I'm going to guess she ain't going to do that. To hammer the point home even further, another source for this alleged crime spoke up. One of the most respected women in comics appears to have had some knowledge of the theft case. Mimi Cruz, co-owner of renowned Utah-based Night Flight Comics, gave credence to Bill Williams' 2015 public statements backing up his claim. The following was posted to her official blog, and she also linked it from her Twitter account. If Bill Willingham has reported this to the police and has a case number, it is not a joke. Stephanie Cook should already be trying to make restitution. Public sympathy will not keep you out of jail. I applaud Willingham for making the situation public and in turn hopefully preventing others from being victimized in the same way. So she did it in the terms of allegedly. And there is a criminal case. Holy shit. how do they ignore that kind of shit? I just Aura. How do they ignore that?
Just playing this kind of music is a good way to do it, and then just go on your day and find Freddy Krueger. Shit, his lore is actually pretty good. His comics are pretty good too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you read them, but they're pretty dope.
I'm a little upset the way this shit happens, right? Because it's ridiculous. I mean, it's really fucking ridiculous, right? The way that they're able to get away with this kind of crap, right?
Yeah.
She's literally she's fucking hiding out in Canada because they have criminal charges against her over here, and media outlets are just like, don't say anything about the sweet Stephanie Cook. Don't talk bad about her. She promised to touch all our peepees. Like it's so fucking disgusting. And you know what? I'm sure some people will go like, "Oh, Crow, you know those comics are really crass." Yeah, but you know what? I didn't steal $10,000 from somebody. So you know what? Fuck off. Like I got peach wine again. Good choice. Good choice, Jess.
That sounds good, actually. Sounds really good.
You know what's really good? Peach Moscato.
That sounds dope too.
No, yeah. Oh, you know what I did? I got a blueberry Moscato and I combined it with Corona, and I made beer Scotto.
I got the wrong idea for like 2 seconds.
You did. 2 seconds. So, Night Flight Comics, and this was posted as part of the blog here. So they give credence over to Bill, to talk about how they've known him for a while. I agree with Mimi Cruz to believe that Mr. Willingham has no motivation to lie. The local police were apparently provided with enough evidence to open a case and begin their investigation. While verifying my story, our editor reached out to Bill Willingham himself and confirmed that the criminal case filed in Dodge County, Minnesota against Cook is indeed still active. And Willingham has offered the following comments this week. I don't know if she ever retained counsel. She threatened to, and at the time, I hope she would try to sue since the evidence against her was overwhelming. Yeah, let's be very clear here, right?
Yeah.
Bill Willingham has made these claims very public. If they're false, she could sue him because she's not a public figure. She isn't. That's defamation if it's false, right?
Yeah.
But he has evidence to prove it, and the police have opened a criminal. There's a reason why she won't address it. There's a reason why she's not going to take any legal action. There's a reason why she's going to keep her cowardly ass hidden in Canada. I'm just saying, like, sure, allegedly, but also, in my personal opinion, that woman is a fucking thief.
I think so too.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
Toy Bounty Hunters is quiet with shame. That's all. Nobody needs to worry. We shamed him, but he's still here to give us his clout powers.
Yes, he is. He's talking in the private chat. He's praising us. It's really awesome.
He's like, God, you guys.
Mm-hmm. He's like, oh man, Crow, you're killing it. You're killing it. Just keep going. Just keep going. I feed you my clout. I feed you the clout.
I've never been so disappointed in my life, but I'll just stay here to give you the clout because I'm just generous.
Oh, well, I mean, no, he's staying here because he's getting paid $5 a minute.
Generous John.
Well, I mean, I think I'm the one being generous. $5 a minute is a lot of money.
Not if it's pesos. You're getting him pesos. You're trying to swindle.
Dollar bills.
Okay.
Yeah. Want to buy clout? Red Crow and Blue Crow are siphoning. Crow's making new mutations of Corona. Yes, the beer Scotto virus.
Oh,
beer Scotto is awesome. Shut up.
Not yours, dude. You mix it with fucking Corona beer or whatever. It's whatever.
Aura, I swear to God, when you come here, beer Scottos. I'm gonna make you drink it, and you're gonna fucking fall in love. I guarantee you.
Just gonna be like, oh.
By the way, did you ever have your sandwich?
No, I would have had it live or something.
You want to do it on tomorrow's stream?
Could do it tomorrow.
Okay, guys, tomorrow Aura eats his lovely sandwich.
New thing comes in tomorrow. I'm trying to work on some outlandish shit. The Patreon.
Yeah.
I'm trying to work on something. I don't know if I'll get it to work.
Okay. Now I want to get the plugs in for everybody.
No, yeah. So tonight's the last night for the old one.
Awesome. Okay, awesome. All right. So this is just out of sheer embarrassment. I almost stayed quiet about what she did as far as telling the comic community. This is sad, right? But there's that's fucked up. That's so fucked up. Comics media either ignored or outright censored the story. In fact, both CPR, Newsrama, Comics Alliance, and The Beat were all completely silent on the matter. The only high-profile comic news website that apparently covered the story was none other than Bleeding Cool. As you can see in this screenshot from Night Flight Comics I shared above, Mimi Cruz linked directly to the following Bleeding Cool article on her official blog on September 22nd, 2015. Could Bleeding Cool be the only media outlet that gave any attention or credibility to the story? In September 2015, the story was ranked as the 11th most popular news item on Bleeding Cool, right behind 3 stories attacking artist Frank Cho. Damn.
Yes, Rev, it is pickles and peanut butter, and mustard, actually. Svez is willing to have the sandwich with me, and Cheshire says tomorrow, or Minecraft's himself on stream. Or Minecraft on stream.
Okay, hold on.
It's hilarious.
So this is the article title. Bill Willingham accuses Stephanie Cook of embezzlement. Cook denies and seeks legal counsel. I mean, that's a hell of a fucking headline. How about this? Bill Willingham accuses Stephanie Cook of embezzlement. Cook hides like a cowardly cunt in Canada. Because she didn't seek legal counsel, so that's fucking lie. But something strange happens when you click on link to a particular story. It takes you to a blank page. So nobody fucking covered it, right? Yeah. Nobody covered it except for Bleeding Cool, who actually seems like they're going to write an article. Maybe it was a neutral article, but it sounds like they were going to defend the shit out of Stephanie Cook. It was getting too much attention, though, so he just deleted it. That's if you want proof, right? If you want proof that they are going to cover for these terrible fucking women, that's all you need, right? A legend, an actual legend, unlike Rich's little fucking plaything. An actual fucking comic legend coming out and accusing somebody with evidence of stealing and embezzling funds from him in excess of 10 grand, right? And they all just shut their fucking mouths. Don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. Yeah. Ugh. Tomorrow, Aura Minecraft's on stream. No.
That'd be great.
No.
Remember me from my jokes. Remember them.
It's worth noting that every other link on this top 20 traffics to the week page still works perfectly. Wow. Why would the only deleted article in that list be the one where Stephanie Cook was credibly accused of embezzlement by Fable's creator Bill Willingham? Why has it been scrubbed from the site after being such a hot news story? After all, if it bleeds, it leads is general perception of what gets reported at Bleeding Cool. And head writer Rich Johnston. Rich Johnston. Is considered by many to be a media shark. Once he sees red, he attacks anything that moves, ripping apart any pro in his path. But I must admit that he does seem to have a strange penchant for showing mercy whenever Whisper Network comrades are concerned. Well, I mean, who do you think's feeding him the fucking meat? Sharp-eyed readers may have noticed that Alex DeCampi's name appears on the same page as Cook's story, where DeCampi, and I can't make this stuff up, is accusing a bunch of comic industry pros of sexual misconduct without evidence. Alex DeCampi, I wonder when the end of Sensation Comics and wider issues of sexual harassment. So, this article is still live, has no evidence, just is running her fucking mouth. Bill Willingham has evidence. Delete the article. Yeah, Rich. We know. We understand. Getting a lot of work with your fucking left hand. I encourage you to take the time to click on these links I'm providing. So let me link the article in the description if people want to check that out. I want you to verify. Click on the links for yourself. I'm not doing it here. Check it out. Just verify it's true. Never. Always check. Always verify. If you're smart, you employ her. If you're even smarter, you listen to what she says. What? I've known Alex DeCampi for over 15 years. Not only is she friend zoned like a motherfucker. Not only is she a very fine writer and innovator, her passion for the friend fucking zone like a motherfucker. She has a very annoying tendency to be right about most things. Fuck off, man. I love this. I love this, though. Sippin' ain't easy.
What? What is it called?
So this is this dude, right? This fucking rich guy.
Yeah.
Just cannot stop fucking getting on his knees and sucking her goddamn toes, right? Talking about how if you're smart, you employ her. If you're even smarter, you listen to what she says. Talking about how she's great and passionate, and her creativity is just overflowing. And then,
Jeez,
and then the writer for the article put "sipping ain't easy." That's a nice shot,
dude. It's true though.
And it fucking is.
It's true.
Now, due diligence. In fairness to Stephanie Cook, she did proclaim her innocence on Twitter. She also claimed she was getting a lawyer when the alleged embezzlement in Minnesota came to light. But afterwards, she swiftly fled the United States and returned to Canada. Yeah. According to my sources, she never hired anyone, and she deleted any and all her tweets where she claimed she was hiring one. Wow, fucking running. As of today, according to all parties I spoke with, this remains an open embezzlement case. She has still not hired an attorney. And in Minnesota, embezzlement of this magnitude is punishable by up to 10 years in prison and or fines up to $20,000. Well, now we know why she fucking ran.
Yeah.
Crystal Williams' 2015 statement from his original open letter, which Bleeding Cool wiped from their site. Jesus, you guys are fucking trash. She could still be charged with embezzlement should she return to the United States to the USA. While I don't have the dollar amount of the alleged embezzlement, William alluded in the excess of $10,000. If Cook were to be convicted of the felony for less than $10,000, it could still land her in prison up to 5 years. Yeah.
Ain't no joke.
On the subject of transparency, Comics Beat, the workplace of Cook's fellow Whisper Network comrade Heidi MacDonald, published an interview with Cook back in 2018 where she wanted everyone to know that she's a big fan of transparency. There's still a lot of problems with the comic book industry, as anyone who's been in it for a while can tell you. I think some of those problems could be solved with transparency. Stephanie, come back. Come back to the United States. Be transparent with everybody.
Yeah, transparency.
This is all baseless fucking allegations. Come back here, and I'm sure that you will not be fucking arrested. You dumb bitch. I found it interesting that Cook only seems to want to talk about transparency as applies to the men of the comics industry, but not herself or her comrades. Well, of course. Oh, man. That's insane. That's fucking insane.
I mean, yeah, pretty much, dude. I don't even know what else to fucking say.
So, Comics Beat didn't cover the story, obviously.
Yeah.
I fucking love this. The fact that he would accuse me in public of such incredibly shitty things on my fucking birthday is unbelievable. Yeah, almost as unbelievable as stealing $10,000 and running away like a cowardly bitch. He never provided me with a chance to defend myself and automatically decided that I was guilty. You stole $10,000 over 3 years. And then you ran. After saying that it was baseless, after saying, like, what is this? It's like you're admitting to taking the money, but I had a good reason. I wanted to buy things.
Yeah. That's a good enough reason, man.
Right? Be realistic about this industry to other creators, because finding a home for your project is hard. I mean, almost as hard as stealing $10,000. And she would know.
Work is hard, Crow.
Right?
You don't know.
It should come as no surprise to anyone that all the people telling me that I'm wrong about making money in comics are men. Well, I don't think, I mean, you don't even need to make money in comics. You can just steal it from people.
Yeah.
Stop giving your money to shitty people. Okay, stop giving your money to this bitch. Stop giving your money to Stephanie Cook. Stop. And I mean, check and see if she stole some from you, because the woman's a dirty fucking thief who's hiding in Canada like a cowardly little bitch.
Yo, let's get Steve. Let's get Steve in on this shit.
I want to. He's still hungover.
Saint Eve, do some hood rat shit, bro. Get it.
Did she just assume pronouns? Jess. Fucking Jess.
Uh-oh, Jess. Sips wine.
But this is not a joke. Whisper Network members have been laughing at reports that came out in recent weeks about their group, making light of what was reported, or threatening legal reprisals. Yeah. That kind of makes you dumbasses look even guiltier, but whatever. Stephanie Cook is writing books for HMH Kids. She organizes comic events. She's considered to be a trusted member of the media. Trademark, wow. Which means that she has the privilege of reporting and handling sensitive information. Well, that's a dumb idea. It's a really dumb idea. Oh, God. How many in the Whisper Network had even heard of or knew about this alleged embellishment beforehand, but have kept quiet? CBR has published literally hundreds of Bill Williams-related stories, but were mum on this one. How many people knew about the subsequent media cover-ups or perhaps even helped facilitate them? How many people in the industry have been victimized due to silence, something that Bill Williams and Mimi Cruz have attempted to protect their peers from? No, I am sorry, Amy Chu, but this is not sharing cat pictures. This is not a joke. This is dead serious. A lot of folks have things to answer for. Meanwhile, let's take a detour from memory lane for now. Look into some more recent history, maybe even peek into the future for a little bit. What is this? On for the next week's phony Celebrity Comics Week announcement. I mean, okay. The Whisper Network's next likely target. This is a tactic known as playing the long game, where the opposition builds their attacks in intensity slowly over time. Sort of a death by 1,000 cuts approach before the final blow. And the real Twitter trial begins. On social platforms, I've observed this pattern. The same handful of folks who frequently talk about taking down the shitty people. The worst of the worst, but only the folks who they allege attack marginalized groups and participate in hate groups. You mean like the Whisper Network? You mean exactly like the Whisper Network. A hate group. A sexist hate group.
You sound like Tom King.
I'm just...
Are you trying to quote him?
Maybe.
Okay, just making sure.
You know who they say they hate? Those right-wingers, the Gators, the Trumpsters, ad infinitum. However, I'm convinced that this group or several members of it are targeting anyone with power regardless of their politics or their affiliations. Potentially, target might be anyone they're jealous of or anyone who has a job they feel entitled to. I've also noticed that nearly all the targets seem to be men. The first cut, Heather Antos, formerly of Marvel Comics, recently doled out a kick to the shins to Scott Snyder DC Comics. So we read through that in the last one, right?
Yeah.
I was off radar with this being the kids' last week before school starts, and missed this yesterday, but of course this. So I'm disappointed. I expected more from you, Scott. That cunt, that childless. I'm gonna guess childless.
Yeah,
I really hope she's not a fucking mother. I really fucking hope she's not a mother.
I'm gonna stop you right there because I'm trying to help you, my friend. I'm gonna help you. Let's keep going. Don't say another word about that.
You know what? I don't care. I honestly don't.
No, you have to care. I have to care for you.
I know, but how do I say this? At a certain point, I get that there are certain things that you shouldn't say, but the terrible, awful fucking things these people do, right?
Dude, I agree, but
I get it. I do. Walk it back.
You're gonna have another. Disavow. You're gonna have another Twitter fight for a day.
My point is, the dude is saying I missed it because he was spending time with his kids.
Yes, I know.
Right?
Yeah.
And she goes at him because he says I miss it. Dude, there are times when I don't log into Twitter for a couple days. This is ridiculous.
Our really good friend Broly has a kid too. Remember that?
Yeah.
And because he was on Twitter, somebody was talking shit about his parenting, right?
Yeah.
Let rotten, shitty people use their rotten, shitty fucking words and shit, right? Don't stoop down to their fucking level.
You're right. Laura, thank you. I disavow my previous comments.
Disavow.
Inappropriate. It is. I'll admit it. If I go too far, I'm going to apologize for it. But
dude, I know. I had to. I'm like, just stop it.
Yeah, these people just fucking disgust me. Sorry.
Yeah. No, dude. Trust me. I know. But we've been there personally.
Oh wow, our chat is fucking vicious.
What do they say? Fuckers. Fuck.
Heather the hag. She has cats for children. She's the woman that probably got rejected to prom back in high school and has become the person that we know today. Wow. Oh my god. You guys are
See, they
fucking
said it for
bitches.
you. They said it for you.
They
Look.
did. They fucking did. They went all in.
Yeah. Yes, the cast for children.
I want to be
That
clear
one.
here. Macy and Jess are
No.
proud women, and they're allowed to make these comments.
Mhm.
They're speaking their truth.
Yeah.
So you have to respect that.
Dude, I'm just saying, you know.
Comicsgate has been labeled a hate movement by certain self-proclaimed social justice warriors and far-left activists on Twitter. Heather Antos included. Well, yeah, she's a terrible person. Our Comicsgate supporters and industry pros who are either sympathetic or identify with the movement have always denied these allegations. Claiming they are inclusive, they treat everyone equally, love comic books, judge work by its merit, and simply don't like a lot of what they see in the current direction of the industry. You know, like Heather Antos. And yet, for some reason, Scott Snyder has been compelled to repeatedly denounce the movement on his social media. The October surprise. The Whisper Network has recently tearing things up throughout 2017, making crazy comments and trashing pros publicly and privately. But things began to shift in late 2017 after Aubrey Sitterson's G.I. Joe comic was canceled by IDW for low sales. At least that was what was reported. But his critical statement about 9/11 mourners probably didn't sit well with G.I. Joe customers. Yeah, probably. This did little to quiet the extreme fringe left, but it planted a seed. Normal comic book fans in the middle, on the right, or many on the left, were growing sick of this sense of hatred towards readers, and the heavy-handed politics that writers were regularly inserting. They just want to be entertained, not scolded. Then October rolled around. October 12, 2018, Marvel writer Chuck Wendick was fired, in his own words, because of the negativity and vulgarity that my tweets bring. It was too much politics, too much vulgarity, too much negativity on my part. Then October 25th, 2018, comic professional Mark Waid of Kingdom Come fame started a GoFundMe to pay for a lawsuit. He was accused of tortious interference and defamation by indie comic creator Richard C. Meyer. Well, we all know where that's going right now.
Yep.
With all this Sturm and Drang. Oh, God. Slate, guys, sorry. I surprisingly found virtually nothing happening in the Whisper Network after October 2018. The rest of the year and for nearly all of 2019, the Twitterati seemed to be on their best behavior. They even stopped much of the trash talking, presumably any colluding behind the scenes, from what I could tell. I find no threats, no bullying, and the rumor spreading had really died down. It remained relatively quiet until 2020. The attacks resumed on Snyder. So let's just read into it. Fucking Stephanie. Please stop pitting creators against each other. Nothing good comes from that mentality. We're all peers, and no, you're not. No, you're not. You're an awful fucking person. You were in it for yourself. Comic scribe Scott Snyder isn't scared to train his competition. Like, bitch, you need the fucking training, because I guarantee you cannot just steal your way through life. You're not Selena Kyle. You're not. You're like a dumb cunt who stole $10,000 from someone who trusted her, and then ran away to Canada like a cowardly little bitch after talking about how you're going to hire legal representation and take that man to court. Yeah, you dumb cunt. Come back to the United States, and you know, I guarantee you, if you don't get arrested, nobody will know. Minnesota, though. Hey, don't try to pull some. I went to California and they didn't do anything here. Dumb bitch. Maybe comics isn't for you, Scott Snyder. Followed breathless by verified Twitter user and proud Whisper Network ally Christopher Sabella, who also got in a tiny jab when Scott was being put down. I don't think his attack went very well for Cook because it didn't go viral and didn't gain any traction. A few months passed before the network lashed out again. I've noticed another pattern seems to be that they bring up same petty grievances over and over again for years, if necessary, until it goes, wow, that's pathetic. That's fucking pathetic. On June 20, let it go. Watch Frozen and then repeat that song in your head over and over again anytime you think about canceling somebody. I would sing it on stream with Aura right now, but I think that would still get us copyright claimed.
Yeah, Disney's a pain.
Yeah. Saying she doesn't believe that Snyder would say no to abusing, harassing, grooming, or manipulating women. Of course. Snyder has, and again, she gave no evidence. Yep. Yeah, without cause, she publicly let Snyder's peers, editors, friends, followers, co-workers, and even his wife know that she thought Snyder was Kate. Wow. Yeah. It goes to saying to all white. You know what? Fuck you. All these white fucking women, right? All the fucking Karens, all the white bitches, right? The most entitled, most privileged. And you want to say, we gotta have privilege. It's all the men. It's a patriarchy. Shut the fuck up. You can literally just run your mouth off, make baseless accusations to thousands of people, and it will just get put into fucking comicbook.com top page. And if anyone makes an accusation about you, don't talk about that one. Don't talk about that one. Delete. Yeah, that's called privilege, you dumb cunt. And look at your skin color. You are also white. You are everything you were complaining about. It's just you have a vagina and not a penis. That's the difference. That's the literal difference between you two. You have vagina, and more privilege. That's it. I don't know how else to say that. No, I think I said it well enough. Would Scott Snyder be accepting of abuse towards women harassment in the workplace, or is she saying that Snyder is somewhat of a sexist and a racist because he's not dismantling the DC comic system under which he is employed? Or is she simply bitter that his employer has only ever hired her to write one comic? And then, oh, wow. Maybe that's why Alex's de facto PR department gleefully turned her Twitter tantrum into a news story, because of course they did. Yeah. Comic creator, novelist, director, and former Bleeding Cool columnist. You mean dumb fucking cunt? Alex DeCampi. Comic creator Tess Fowler made a similar point. Because of course she did. Because they're friends. Because they signal boost each other with their insanity and stupidity. It didn't take long for Alex's chum, Stephanie Cook. Of course not. Of course. While we're at it, Snyder took this pledge to say no, but is complicit in allowing CGers to work and thrive at DC. Hey, Stephanie. CGers has minority comic creators. Are you trying to cancel the minority comic creators? Are you trying to cancel minority creators, you white fucking thief? You stupid, cowardly cunt. Stop hiding in Canada and face the fucking law here. You dumbass embezzler. You stupid bitch. Oh, he called me a bitch and that's the worst thing ever in the world. Because you are. Because you're a fucking thief. If a dude did it, I call him a fucking dick. I call him a cocksucker. I call him all kinds of fucking names. You just happen to have a vagina. It doesn't exempt you from being criticized or called out for the stupid, dumb shit that you do. It doesn't. It fucking doesn't. I don't get where these fucking people's heads are at. You can't say no to harassment while allowing people actively harassing creators. Like you? You mean like you? You actively harass creators like you're actively harassing Scott Snyder. Well, he's a dude, so he has to be held to a higher standard. That's called sexism, you dumb bitch. Fuck. I swear, they're like heads are just fucking glued together. There's nothing in the center. Here we see Stephanie Cook attempting to stay in Scott Snyder with a CG adjacent. How? Yeah, fucking Stephanie Cook. I'm gonna call him a Nazi. Shut up. You're a fucking thief. You're a fucking thief. You know what? Be glad you don't live in the Muslim world, right? Because you know what they do to thieves? Chop off the fucking hands. I'm just saying.
So Bounty Hunter left again? He left again when you started. He's gone again. He's like, I'm back.
I'm here.
No, he's gone. You're so disappointed. He's like, Crow's like, and the Muslims, they chop your fucking hands off.
I'm Muslim.
I'm
Muslim. I'm Palestinian. I'm just telling her because she wants to talk about the fucking marginalized fucking communities. If you did that to a fucking Arab man in the Muslim world, oh boy. Oh fucking boy. That wasn't really my point.
You know what happens if you steal from a Rican? Do you know what happens?
What happens?
You want to tell him, Troy Bounty Hunter?
Oh, they'd be Jess, man.
Yeah.
It's
a little bad. Yeah.
They Jess, man. It's like, yeah, man. They don't play.
I'm just like, holy shit. These people are racist, Nazi, horrible people. They're the worst people in the fucking world. And yet, maybe I stole $10,000, but at least I'm not a CG'er. Oh my God. Oh my fucking God. You know what? The best part about this, right, is that you have all these people are like friends with her talking about how horrible CG is, and none of them, not a single fucking person is going to mention, hey, I think maybe you should make amends. Maybe just apologize to the money for the money that you fucking stole. Right? No, of course not. We're going to talk about other people's moral fucking failures when you try to cancel other creators and then say, but Scott Snyder doesn't defend our creators, my friends, when people try to cancel them and attack them and harass them, even though we're harassing and attacking other people. But it's okay because we have the Dinah. Yeah, we get it. We fucking understand it. You're sexist fucking bitches. You honestly feel like men need to be held to a higher standard than you do. That's called sexism. It's not called equality. It's called, I need special protections and privileges because I'm a woman. Like, again, I'm just saying, equality for everybody. You're going to hold these people to these fucking standards. You need to be held to the same fucking standards. Meaning when you fucking steal money from somebody, people should talk about it. These news articles instead go, I hope they notice me. I hope they notice me because I didn't talk about them today and say negative things. I only said the positive things. Like Alex Dick Happy is like a brilliant, innovative person, even though nobody reads her comic books. They're just these fans. They don't understand her greatness. And also, I hope she touches my little tiny pee-pee. Like, yeah, we get it. We understand it. You have a fucking simp brigade, and it's embarrassing to watch. Sorry. I like how you put, but I digress, because last week in Every Song Talking weaponized a CG association against Asian illustrated industry legend Jay Lee. Yeah, remember that?
Yep. It's very recent.
Yeah. Imagine the privileged white dude, all the fucking white girl Karens out there demanding that the Asian guy be canceled for associating with a group that wants to cancel minorities like Asian. It doesn't make sense.
I like the music just cut off with the fucking rage.
That's what I was gonna say too. It just stopped right there. It got real serious. You
scared the music off.
It's just like, oh,
I know. Oh, it's a good moment. Holy shit.
No, you're serious
right now. Exactly. Yeah, the record scratch.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. Okay. So here we go. This is more from that group. Following the Whisper Network's June 23rd, 25th, 2020 Twitter smear job against Snyder, Mags, the only person in history who can get more books canceled than actually published, simply tipped her hand on the Women's Network's secret Facebook page. Based on her history, it appears that she could be setting the stage for future attacks. Let's see. Yeah, that's what I've been hearing. I'm just so on edge after the Sean Murphy thing. I don't want to get used. I want to use other people. And I don't want to be a dude's emotional support. I want dudes to emotionally support me. Well, when all I signed up for was making a comic that's going to get canceled anyway, so why do people care? I get that enough from Snyder, who keeps telling me he can make me a better writer, but I'm already good enough because I had a TV show. We understand. We understand you. Yeah, you're their creative partner, not their mom therapist. She is not creative, and she is not their partner. She's barely a fucking apprentice. I feel like every time Scott calls, we spend 10 minutes talking comics and 45 minutes of him going around in circles about how he doesn't want to be a bad person. Because you keep calling him a bad fucking person. I can't believe this dude, who I keep calling a terrible person, keeps wanting to talk to me about how he doesn't want to be a terrible person. What a selfish cocker. A selfish prick. A selfish dick. How awful. I'm going to tell more people what a terrible fucking person he is now.
Why are you talking like that?
Because I imagine the whiniest, nasaliest, most epically, I was about to say the R word, voice that I can picture. Jesus, man.
Good job.
I stopped myself.
Good job. No, I meant that.
Then we get some of the other women talking about emotional dumping, which really was emotional manipulation. I can't with these people. Fuck. Emotional dumping. You are literally trying to destroy him and saying he'd be totally okay if women were raped. That's just what kind of person he is. And he goes, I don't want to be a terrible person. Just tell me how we can just come past this understanding. Well, admit that you're awful. Admit that you're terrible. I'm going to keep telling people you're terrible, so you may as well admit it. Yeah. Fuck you, and fuck you again. 6 ways to fucking Sunday. Fuck you.
I've never read a single fucking thing that Campy has ever done.
I haven't either.
I'm just looking at her stuff. Hey, do you even know what she writes?
Nothing good.
The only thing notable that you would probably even know of is fucking Archie versus Predator.
Nope.
Exactly. See, like nope. I've never read any of her shit.
Yeah, Scott's gonna Scott. It is incredibly frustrating. I only trash talk him behind his back, to his face, all over social media. All my friends do the same thing, but like he wants to like have a conversation with me. Oh, what a piece of shit! Yeah, you dumb bitch. Remember that very first tweet I shared with you at the beginning of this article where Amy Chu was mocking Twitter user who claimed the Whisper Network was run by Gail Simone and Alex DeCampi? Do you notice the little badge next to her name in the secret Facebook thread above? Do you know what the little badge means? See chart below. The reason Amy Chu was able to say who doesn't run the Whisper Network is because Amy Chu is one of the admins who runs the group. Jesus. How's the stage been set for Snyder? Well, Scott did wait way too long to denounce Comicsgate, and we called him out on it, August 28th. Well, Scott did say he wanted to be competitive and take down fellow creators in January. It was toxic masculinity at its worst. Cook. Well, Scott said he would manipulate or harass women. No, he didn't. But we didn't believe him and demonstrate how he didn't care about harassment. It can't be. He's been accused of helping CGers at Secret Club for Nazis. You know, these women are fucking Nazis. I swear to God, I'm not saying like that. Oh, you know, like I love that song. Everyone I don't like is literally Hitler. It's a funny ass song, right? Yeah. But these women, right? They will destroy people's lives. They'll drive people off the fucking edge, and they'll do it all just to get a little bit ahead, right?
Yeah.
Destroying things, burning things down. They'll accuse you of all the worst things in the fucking book. And then if you try to have any conversation with them, they will use that against you. That's how fucking awful these people are.
Harassment.
Fuck, man. And now, Rabbit Hole Goes Deep. What looks like Collusion of 2018 and earlier is going to be the focus of the Whisper Network Part 3! I love it. I love it. There's a Part 3 coming out.
Did they even react to any of this?
Yeah, well, yes. So let me find the tweet because I saw Tug tweet about it today, and I sent it to you and John on Twitter.
Oh, and that's what that was?
Yeah. That's what that was.
Okay.
Anyways, I'm gonna stop here. You guys have the link. Check out the article. Read it in full for yourself. Okay. This is the final thing we're going to go into and give our final thoughts. I've been giving a lot of mine, so I'm going to give all of our guests, which would be John, and our special co-host, which would be Origami, time to speak. But this is Tug on Twitter. Richard Pace, a mainstream comic pro that stole people's Kickstarter money, is taking up for another person that stole money. Color me shocked. That's the comic industry for you. Frauds, cheats, liars, all circling the wagon screaming Nazi and sexist, so you shut the fuck up. I've known, this is Stephanie Cook, a few years. She's a great fighter for better treatment of creatives in comics and greater access for all people. Now she's a lying, fucking, thieving cunt. Fuck you.
Well, what would you expect from somebody who has never honored their crowdfunding campaign, right? You know what I mean? Dishonesty from a person that stole from people. I mean, yeah. I mean, kind of falls in line, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect them to be a good judge of character.
I love how John just he just comes out of the shadows. What do you expect from a piece of shit? And then just goes back to like
I
quiet.
don't sound like that. I don't have a list like that.
Well, you go expect a piece of shit. Like, okay.
Are you making me sound like a Down syndrome, like friggin' Todd McFarlane or something? Bro?
Todd McFarlane, Todd Father. You is your idol.
Yeah, I do love.
Yeah,
that's great, and that's not a knock on anybody, on the spectrum. I'm just saying. Not that I'm saying Todd McFarlane is. I'm just saying.
Okay, so look,
Todd McFarlane.
I get so angry reading through that shit. I really do, right?
Yeah,
because
man.
it's one thing is people are actually doing the things you're accusing them of, but you're just making shit up at that point. And even if they don't do anything, you find a reason, right? You find a reason to go after them. It's terrible. It's disgusting. It does so much damage. It destroys everyone's credibility. It makes comics such a toxic fucking place. Toxic masculinity, you're toxic fucking vaginas. You fucking worthless cunts. John, please say something so I stop. Please say anything so I will stop.
Well, they're terrible people, bro. I mean, that's cancel culture to a T. I mean, it's finding whatever reason you can, no matter how old or how recent it is. It's finding whatever you can, wherever you can scrape from the bottom of the barrel to turn it, to twist it, to fit your narrative, to try to cancel this person. It's what we've seen time and time again. It's usually done by people that have nothing really going for them. You know what I mean? Or are jealous of the success of somebody else. I mean, I won't say just jealousy. It's just like these are just people that are just, they have nothing better to do. They're just, they just want to see the world burn at times. You know what I mean? Sometimes it might not even have anything to do with jealousy. They might just like to just see people they don't like just get what they feel is coming to them for whatever reason, just because maybe they didn't say hi to them on a certain day, or maybe because they didn't offer to help them on a book, or whatever their reason, whatever their petty reason is that particular week. They always find one, you know what I mean, to go after somebody. Look at what Mags did to Sean Gordon Murphy. Love bombing, like seriously? That's it? I mean, that's what you're gonna go after this guy for? You know what I mean?
I mean, that's all they can do. It's
look, when it's all said and done, at the end of the day, people like, and I find it interesting that it's always people that either are not as relevant as they used to be, Gail Simone, or people, that have never really achieved anything great, like, Tess Fowler. What is Tess Fowler really known for? Not much, right?
We can find out with the power of Google.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is these are people that don't have these. They're
losers. They suck, John. Just say it.
They don't have the reverence of, say, a woman like Louise Simonson, right? Who is an absolute legend in the industry, a fantastic writer. You know what I mean? And made their mark. They don't have that going for them.
Yeah.
Does she do D&D comics, Tess Fowler?
I believe so, but again, it's like who's that?
Yeah,
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
I just found out through the power of Google.
You say Louise Simonson to a bunch of comic book fans, they'll know who that is. They'll be like, "Oh man, she's fantastic." You know what I mean?
Talentless hacks with dad issues. There you go. So I've been dying to ask this question.
Yes.
Any anti-comic skaters comment on this?
Okay, so I've seen people talk about it, right? But it seems to be mostly the comic pros, and I guess you could call them anti-CG. So, yeah.
Well, I'm saying, are they going as gung-ho as on Comicsgate because they're gay ops and they do this and Comicsgate bad, but like literal expose right here of like bullshit and gay ops and canceling and shit like that, and they steal shit and actual fucking crimes, right?
Yeah.
Where's the fucking outrage?
Well, I mean, why?
Actual fucking crimes. I mean, what does Comicsgate do? They're just cringe. Ethan Van Sciver, bad man.
I feel like Aura is like the Roddy Piper in the stream. I feel like you're going to come in and say something like, just when they think they have all the answers, I change the questions.
I'm just curious. And I'm for some people who are so fucking stuck up on their principles, especially about how comics gate people bad, you think when real people getting caught being bad, Gail Simone, bitches I never heard of, like Tess Holiday, that's not her name, is it? I made that shit up, didn't I? Tess Holiday's a wrestler, yeah. Like, okay, so
well,
that's what I'm saying.
I hear where you're coming from, right? But like, because it doesn't fit their narrative, right? Comicsgate is the enemy to anti-CG. They don't give a shit about anything else.
It's called integrity. It's literally what the fuck they're fighting about.
You have to have integrity to actually value integrity. They don't.
Okay, I'm just curious because this is actual shit. Some of them are actually committing crimes. People are stealing shit. They're literally Zoe Quinn is a part of that shit. Zoe Quinn is a part of it. She fucking killed a guy.
Allegedly.
No, they fucking killed that guy. But yes, allegedly.
I mean, I agree with you in my
allegedly.
opinion. Allegedly. Here's the thing. I don't like attributing suicide to certain people's actions because clearly that person was disturbed. But she knew he was disturbed.
Yeah.
And she railroaded the fuck out of him.
I'm just saying he was alive a week prior to her doing that.
She unleashed the hounds on him.
Yeah. And you put someone who clearly was not mentally stable into an incredibly high stress situation, all for like little social media points and clout. And a week later, he does take his own life. And I mean, even somebody who is not mentally unwell, right? The amount of stress and pressure you put them in when you do that to them, right? Actively lie about them the way that she did.
Bro.
Yeah.
Let's just do a hypothetical or like a scenario thing. Somebody says anything about you, right? Fucking anything. Let's just say Zoe Quinn. Fuck it. Life over. No job. No nothing. Your career, your passion project, this channel, everything is taken from you. How do you handle that? It's a massive fucking blow. All I'm saying is he was alive. Zoe Quinn did shenanigans. Not alive, but allegedly. I know where you're coming from. That's fine.
I've been following your lead on that, actually.
I know, man. Good. I'm glad. But anyways, I'm just saying, like it's a bunch of hypocrisy and it exposes itself. I mean, it's not that shocking. You know, especially because John put it into that perspective. It's not that shocking. But at the same fucking time, I'm like, where's everyone's integrity? They always talk about being the good people. What Comicsgate is so bad about. But like here you got some people with a real fucking expose with actual evidence, actual fucking proof, and just fucking crickets. Y'all should be fucking ashamed. Go fuck yourselves.
God damn, Aura.
Deadass. Go fuck yourselves.
Well, the thing is, they've emboldened them to be this way, though. Too, it's just like the show media has emboldened them, you know, by encouraging them and not holding them accountable. You know what I mean? They've emboldened them to be this way.
No, yeah, you know, just like I just don't ever want to hear nothing from some hack ass, you know. Anybody says Comicsgate is bad, fuck them. Like if they can't have integrity to call out any kind of bad behavior, fuck yourself. That's all you're gonna hear from me. I waited 2 hours and a half to say that. Yeah, that was my whole take.
Well, I mean, it's inconsistent, right? You know, what I mean, there are people that put themselves they put themselves on this moral pulpit of good and righteousness that we're trying to get rid of these ists and these phobes from the fandom and from the industry. You know what I mean? But again, you know, it's rules for thee, not for me. You know what I mean? It only works if they're the ones that are spouting the propaganda, right? They're the ones that are out there. Oh, we're the true, you know, ones looking for justice here. You know what I mean? It's just like nobody else.
What about Preston? What about Preston Poulter? Where's he at? Mr. Fucking talks about good and bad.
Taking it up the ass right now, probably.
No, taking it up the ass right now, probably watching himself take it up the ass while taking it up the ass for part 2, the sequel. That's what he's going to name it, by the way.
I mean, it's a good name for a sequel. Honestly.
Part 2, the sequel, just like that. Yep. Fucking garbage, fucking piece.
Jesus, Aura.
What?
I love this side of you. I want to see more of it.
No,
Bring out the anger.
Well, I'm just saying, like, Y'all are a bunch of fucking hypocrites. I'm tired of y'all talking shit about Ethan when you got shit like this going on. It's in your front of your fucking face and you're just choosing to ignore it. Go fuck yourselves. Y'all are pussies. Y'all fucking suck. Can I go now?
I mean, that is pretty much the end of the stream. But we should ask our guest, right? Our guest, he's here giving us all this clout, right? We should probably ask him his final thoughts on things. You think we can do that, Aura?
John,
I guess I mean final thoughts on the whole.
He's like, I'm good. I don't even know what to say anymore.
I mean, the final thoughts would just be that again, you know, like Aura said earlier, I'm not surprised. I mean, this is the playbook that they've been using for years now at this point, that they're probably continuously going to use, and you know, I really hope that articles that are coming out now about it will have some kind of effect, but I doubt it. I mean, it's probably going to be more of the same. You know, I hope people don't forget. I mean, at least people here in this chat, I know that a lot of the people you get in here are pretty well informed and smart, and obviously, you know, make well informed decisions when it comes to stuff. So I mean, really, that's all we can hope for, is that as long as people like Bleeding Fool or whoever else is getting this information, is going to continue to put it out there, and hopefully people that actually are not being disingenuous will look into it and say and call it out, you know, and be consistent with calling out this stuff too. You know what I mean? If they truly care, if you know, if they care about consistency and they care about actually doing, I guess, the right thing, then, you know, yeah, be consistent. You know, even if your side is the one that's not doing the right thing, don't be afraid to be like, hey, look, that's messed up. You shouldn't be doing that. But I don't expect that from them. I mean, it's like I said, they play by their own set of rules. You know, they talk a big game like it's not that way, but we know that it is. I mean, but I guess we'll wait and see what happens. We're looking forward to seeing what else they come up with from this Whisper Network, you know, expose that they're doing.
They're gonna come back with Psych. What do you mean, like fucking the Whisper Network? Whatever. I'm done.
That they lied the whole time? That would be messed up, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm imagining. Psych. None of this shit's real.
That would be the fucking biggest.
See, the thing
troll.
is, that's the thing. That would be a great big troll, but at the same time, look, the thing is that you could believe it. You know, people could believe it with the way these people act. You know, they don't act professional online. I mean, you've seen some of the messed up stuff that they've said. I mean, but they act like they're the good and righteous people. You saw the one guy. I mean, I shared that tweet too, like on my other Twitter account. I think what Mike McCone said about people getting, you know, cancer stuff, and then they want to clutch the pearls when there's people on the other side joking about somebody having cancer. It's just like, but you have people on your side that are literally wishing for people to get it too. It's just like, okay,
hypocrites.
Yeah,
hypocrites.
It's just like what do you want? I mean, yeah, I mean, there's gonna come a point in time where people will, and I'm not saying that that's the best approach either, to respond in kind like that, right? It's, you know, the idea should be to not resort to their tactics, but at the same time, there's only so much people can take before they do, right? And I can kind of get that too. I'm not saying that it's always justified, but I can at least understand why they would. So yeah, that's not me condoning it in any way. I'm just saying.
No. I mean, I get what you're saying, man. I do. Look, first off, I want to say thank you to Creepy 666 Kitty, who blessed the stream. To all the cool cats and kittens, don't have hangovers tomorrow.
Steve, Saint Eve appreciates that.
Yeah, well, Saint Eve was like chugging down the communion wine yesterday, so
he was out of control.
He was out of control.
He was out of control.
Like Zio sent me a message. He was like, "Dude, your stream last night, that was the best stream ever." I was like, "God damn, we need to get Saint Eve more wasted."
No, it's not good for him.
No, it's not.
Don't do that to him.
Yeah, don't exploit Steve.
Don't you do that to that beautiful man. It's too precious.
But the views.
That saintly, that angel.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Let me just plug our patrons real quick. This is the final day of the graphic. I hope you all appreciate it. Oh, final time, everybody. The last day we will ever see this graphic again. And of course, as always, just want to say a special thanks to the ones who are being put onto the new list. We have Dagger, Kifley Belithely, Julian Cyan, Kat Thomas, Jess, Connor McDonald. No, Kifley Belithely is not new.
Not new? Never heard you say that name like that before.
Yeah, no. It's Caddy Bailey.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Never mind. All right, that makes way more sense.
It begins with a K. If it's got the initials KB, then it's Caddy Bailey. I'm just
Yeah. Okay.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning into another stream. Please say thank you to our special guest, John. John, we really appreciate you coming onto the channel and letting us suck off your clout.
Yeah. Well, you do know it's not Caddy, it's Katie, right?
No, it's Caddy.
Okay. Yeah. Fucking Caddy. Really?
Caddy Valley.